the political reaction exposed deep divisions. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu reiterated his government's opposition to Palestinian statehood, while far-right ministers condemned the plan as a threat to Israel's security. Others in the opposition accused the government of mismanaging the diplomatic process and allowing a statehood reference to advance. Still, Washington argues the alternative is a return to war, with the U.S. representative urging the Council to seize what he called a narrow window for stability.
This resolution, colleagues, is no mere paper promise. It's a lifeline. How could anyone be against it?
The United States says implementation begins immediately, and Monday's vote is only the start of a broader regional realignment.
President Trump is rolling out the red carpet today for Saudi Arabia's de facto ruler, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, in a visit expected to advance the sale of F-35 fighter jets and a wide range of agreements and business deals. More from ILTV's Steve Leibowitz.
Even before the arrival of MBS, President Trump made clear that the Saudis wanted to buy advanced F-35s and the U.S. planned to sell them to the kingdom.
Yeah, no, I am planning on doing that. Yeah.
You're going to sell F-35s?
They've been a great ally. They've got to like us very much. Look at the Iran situation, what we did in terms of obliterating, we obliterated their nuclear capability. Yeah, I will say that we will be doing that. We'll be selling F-35s.
It will be MBS's first trip to the U.S. since the 2018 killing of journalist Jamal Khashoggi by Saudi agents, a murder that triggered global outrage. The warm welcome in Washington marks a full repair of relations after years of strain. MBS will hold talks with Trump in the Oval Office, join him for lunch in the Cabinet Room, and attend a formal black-tie dinner tonight. The visit aims to capitalize on a Saudi pledge of $600 billion in U.S. investments. New deals in technology, manufacturing, defense, and more are expected. The Saudis have requested 48 of the stealth fighters. It would be the first sale of its kind to the kingdom, raising questions about the maintaining of Israel's qualitative military edge, as Israel is currently the only Middle Eastern country with F-35s. Beyond weapons, Riyadh is seeking security guarantees, access to advanced AI technology, and progress on a civilian nuclear program. The visit of MBS comes immediately after the Security Council resolution approving the Trump plan for Gaza that includes a pathway to Palestinian statehood. Trump is now expected to press MBS to join the Abraham Accords and normalize relations with Israel.
And joining us now for more on the latest developments out of Israel and the region and the U.S. is Ari Harrow. He's the former chief of staff for Prime Minister Netanyahu, and Ron Campius, he's the former Washington bureau chief for JTA, the Jewish Telegraphic Agency. Ari, let me start with you. Prime Minister Netanyahu putting a positive spin on this plan that was approved by the UN, saying it could bring peace and prosperity to Gaza. But clearly there are some problematic elements in this plan for Israel. How should the government be reacting and dealing with it?
Well, firstly, I think that, we have to choose whether we want to look at this from an optimistic lens or a pessimistic lens. Anytime you have a plan that both the Israeli opposition and the coalition partners to the right attack equally, then you have to understand that somebody was trying to strike a balance here. What was passed in the United Nations yesterday really was, with a little additional detail, the plan that President Trump presented here in Israel that the entire nation stood and applauded for. It brought about the return of the hostages. We're still waiting on the remaining bodies that are in Gaza. But ultimately, this is the plan that Israel sought. It is the plan that Israel worked for, and it's a plan that Israel received. I think the mention of a Palestinian state is not inconceivable when you look at the co-sponsors of this plan to the United Nations. You look at countries like Saudi Arabia and Qatar and Indonesia and other Muslim countries in the region. It's clear that you had to present them with sort of an olive leaf so that they can justify this type of activity in Gaza. And I think ultimately the proof is going to be in the pudding. Is Gaza going to be demilitarized? Is Hamas going to be dismantled? And is Israel going to respond and react if its security is threatened in the future?
Right, and you hear Ron Ari use that expression, an olive leaf, but I think that, as he says, that really depends on how much the Trump administration is going to press on issues like the disarming of Hamas and also on moving ahead on some kind of political horizon for the Palestinians. So in your view, how serious is the Trump administration on those key elements as seeing it as part of the overall plan?
I think that the Saudis make the Palestinian component more prominent. I don't think that the Saudis can move ahead without a pathway to some kind of pathway to Palestinian statehood. Something that they can tell their constituents, and even though it's a monarchy, it's a dictatorial monarchy, they still have a constituency in the Muslim world. They consider themselves to be the guardians of the holy places of the Muslim world. I think they need something substantial. So as far as that goes, I think that Trump is gonna be quite serious about pressing towards the disarming of Hamas, the conditions that will pave that way, because his vision hinges on a comprehensive Middle East peace. That's what he sees as his ticket to the Nobel Peace Prize next year. And for that, he really needs the Saudis on board, and the Saudis need the path to Palestinian statehood. Right, Ari, and let me ask you about that. Ron bringing up the importance, the prominence now of the Saudis and the influence they have, certainly in the White House, and we see this. We can relate this also to the sale of the F-35s, which is also something that could be problematic for Israel. How much do you think that influence that MBS has now in the White House may impact on decisions that, again, could be problematic to Israel?
I think we have to remember that the talks between the United States, Saudi Arabia, and Israel did not start in the last few weeks or in the last few months. They started in Trump's first term in office. These are talks that have gone on and have gone into great detail by both sides for a very, very long time. I think that both sides at this moment are trying to, turn the screws a little bit further in their own direction, and everyone's trying to extract what is in their greatest interest from their own domestic points of view. And I think that it's not shocking from that perspective that Saudi Arabia has made these requests, and will make other requests as well. But don't forget that Israel remains the closest ally of the United States, definitely in the region and probably in the world. Trump has made it very clear, not only in word, but in action. And I think that ultimately we have to remember that every time that the media and the public discourse questioned that support of Trump to Israel, it's been proven to be false. And I think that ultimately we will see Trump and his administration continue to support Israel in its vital needs. And it's a tightrope that they're going to have to walk with Saudi Arabia.
Ron, I think we can agree with Ari's point that you can't really question President Trump's personal commitment to the U.S.-Israel alliance. But the political atmosphere in Washington, the U.S., has changed regarding Israel overall, even in his own Republican Party. For example, I think we're both old enough to remember the AWAC sale by the Reagan administration to Saudi Arabia, which generated a much more of an active response from Israel, from its supporters in the U.S., AIPAC, the Jewish community, which does make me perhaps wonder about, beyond President Trump, that's a U.S. support for Israel.
Yeah, I think Ari's right. I think at the end of the day that as long as Trump is president, it's going to come back to a strong support for Israel. The problem is that he's presiding over a Republican Party that is radically changing at its roots. There's a war going on now in terms of just all sorts of identity issues. So how the Republican Party defines itself in the grassroots, and Israel's a big component of that. I point to somebody who's very close to J.D. Vance, Rod Dreher, the philosopher, who wrote a long piece the other day about how he came to Washington and he had an assessment that 40% of the Zoomer age, the Generation Z age, Republicans are groypers, or groyper adjacent, and that refers to the anti-Semitic, very anti-Israel movement led by Nick Fuentes. So, we're talking short term. The prospects of something coming out of this now, I think it's pretty positive. Long term, Israel has a problem here.
Right. And Ari, certainly you could respond to that, but I also want to just get a sense. Okay, so these deals, this plan is moving forward. The F-35s are going to it. What should Israel expect realistically now from the U.S. in terms of pressing either the expansion of the Abraham Accords or some kind of further actions against Iran?
So, firstly, I definitely think that anyone who does not agree with Ron's caution as far as the day after Trump would be blind. I think that he's 100% right, and it's something that has led to tragedy for us here in Israel when we did not think a little bit further down the road. It is important for us to remember what Israel's strategic threats are at the moment. Obviously, strategic threats can change over time, and there's obviously some new ones on the horizon. But today, as we sit here, there still are two fundamental challenges that Israel faces. The first and foremost, from an existential perspective, is Iran. And Saudi Arabia is a key component of any type of action or any type of deterrence that both Israel and the United States want to create vis-a-vis Iran to deter them from rebuilding, renewing their nuclear aspirations. And I think that this fits into that immediate strategic need that we have. So that's point number one. Point number two, and to answer your question, is really with regard to Hamas. When we talk about Palestinian statehood or the path towards Palestinian statehood, what does that mean? Well, it means a lot of things. And I think that the immediate challenge and the immediate strategic imperative that Israel faces is showing the terrorist organization and showing any future leadership that terrorism not only does not pay off, but that it will be wiped out and dismantled from our vicinity. And I think that the challenge that Israel puts back in the United States' lap is really validation and verification that Hamas will not only not play a role, but that it will be demilitarized, that Gaza will be demilitarized, and that a better future can exist.
All right, gentlemen, I'll just conclude. As President Trump is so fond of saying, we'll see what happens. Certainly, these are going to be some challenging months ahead of us. Ari Harrow and Ron Campius, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Jewish extremists reportedly torched vehicles and buildings in the Palestinian village of Jabba near Bethlehem. 3 vehicles and 3 structures were set on fire. No injuries were reported. It remains unclear whether the attack is connected to the early evacuation of the illegal Tzor Mizgavi outpost. Now, the incident erupted shortly after the evacuation of illegal structures near the settlement of Efrat. The IDF confirms it has launched a manhunt for dozens of Israelis accused of taking part in the attack. The army says security forces, including the IDF, border police, and Israeli police, rushed to the village of Jabba following reports that dozens of Israeli civilians had set fire to and vandalized homes and vehicles. The IDF stresses that all violence by Jewish extremists is, quote, grave and dangerous, warning that such acts undermine security and divert troops from critical defense and counter-terrorist missions. Prime Minister Netanyahu and other top Israeli officials expressed support for the army amid its pursuit of what they described as a small extremist group of Jewish assailants. Well, we are now hearing new details from freed hostage Avi Natan Or. He is speaking publicly about his failed escape attempt, the beatings that followed, and the rules he created to survive more than 2 years underground. Here's the story from ILTV correspondent India Naftali.
Avi Natan Or, whose kidnapping was seen across the world alongside his girlfriend Noa Argamani, is now sharing the most detailed account yet of his captivity. Avi Natan was held alone in Gaza's tunnels for 738 days until his release last month under the ceasefire deal.
I tried to escape. I dug for weeks through sandbags, through a collapsed tunnel, towards the surface. Then one night, I reached the outside. I saw stars for the first time in years. I wrote hostage on a white sandbag, planning my next step. But they found out. They beat me for days.
To survive, Avinatan said he created a set of rules for himself. 1. Be patient. 2. Find common ground. 3. Control anger. And 4. Keep the mind engaged. He said his engineering skills helped him track time and even build a small lamp from broken cables.
They tied me to a chair for a week. I was sure I would die there. But even then, I wrote 3 things next to my bed. This too shall pass, patient, and let it be. Those words kept me human.
He also spoke about discussing Torah and Quran stories with his captors, trying to find shared points of faith as a way to stay grounded. Avinatan was speaking alongside Noah Argamani, who was rescued in June 2024, and 2 other recently freed hostages, Guy Gilboa Dalal and Evitar David, at the Jewish Federations of North America General Assembly in Washington.
I want to thank the people who made this final hostage deal possible. Everyone involved, especially Steve Witkoff, Jared Kushner, and President Trump.
The 4 former hostages are expected to meet U.S. President Donald Trump at the White House on Thursday, along with other hostages freed in last month's ceasefire.
And before we move on, I'm excited to announce the latest episode of ILTV's special series with Israel Bonds, One-on-One with Jonah Platt. This new episode features an exclusive conversation with Jonah Platt, an actor, writer, musician, and producer from Broadway and television, to his impactful podcast, Being Jewish with Jonah Platt. Now, he's emerged as one of the most important young Jewish voices in the aftermath of October 7th. Join us tonight at 9 p.m. Israel time or 2 p.m. Eastern time. Scan the QR code on your screen to RSVP and be among the first to watch. You won't want to miss this inspiring conversation. South Africa is raising alarm over 2 recent charter flights carrying more than 300 Palestinians from Gaza, Judea, and Samaria. The foreign ministry claimed the arrivals are suspicious and part of what they call a clear agenda to cleanse Palestinians out of the region. More from ILTV's Devo Klein.
The passengers arrived in Johannesburg without Israeli departure stamps, leading South African authorities to hold one flight on the tarmac for 12 hours before granting entry. Reports in the South African media allege that a shadowy organization known as Al-Majd was involved in organizing the departures of both groups.
It does look like it represents a broader agenda to remove Palestinians from Palestine into many different parts of the world, and it's a clearly orchestrated operation because they are not only being sent to South Africa, there are other countries where such flights have been sent. So indeed, it's a matter that is being investigated, and we do not want any further flights to come our way.
Israel rejected the allegations of any wrongdoing. Kogat says the Palestinians have valid South African visas and that Israel simply facilitates exits for those who arrange third country resettlement. The Prime Minister's office had this to say.
South Africa's government has raised concerns about the arrival of a plane load of Palestinians from Gaza, with officials there saying the matter was under investigation. Steve, I'm reading the remaining response and question that you have here, specifically talking about Palestinians ending up in South Africa. I don't have much I can share with you on that, but the Prime Minister has made it clear that if Palestinians want to leave, they should be allowed to leave the Gaza Strip. And if they want to come back to the Gaza Strip, they should also be allowed to come back.
Germany says it will restart weapons exports to Israel following more than a month of ceasefire in Gaza. The German government confirms that arms shipments will resume from November 24th after Berlin suspended sales of any military equipment that could be used in Gaza back in August, a move made as Israel prepared its ground offensive into Gaza City. Germany, Israel's second largest arms supplier after the United States, says conditions have now stabilized under the first phase of the Israel-Hamas peace agreement, which took effect on October 10th.
Die mit der Pressemitteilung der Bundesregierung vom 8. August 2025 bekanntgegebenen Beschränkungen zum Rüstungsexport nach Israel werden aufgehoben. Die Aufhebung wird ab dem 24. November 2025 in Vollzug gesetzt. Und Hintergrund dessen ist, wir haben ja immer hier gesagt, wir werden im Lichte der Entwicklungen vor Ort diese Praxis überprüfen. Und wie Sie gerade selber ja schon erwähnt haben, seit dem 10. Oktober haben wir einen Waffenstillstand in Gaza und der hat sich auch grundsätzlich stabilisiert.
And let's take a look now at the weather forecast. Cloudy skies are expected around most of the country tonight, with temperatures reaching lows of 16 degrees Celsius or 62 degrees Fahrenheit. Then tomorrow we'll see clear skies alongside steady temperatures, seeing highs of 27 degrees Celsius or 81 degrees Fahrenheit. And that's a wrap for today's news. For the latest updates from Israel on all your devices, be sure to follow our ILTV channels and our new live channel. And you can also catch us on Screen IL with 24/7 live coverage. Stay informed with the latest news straight from the heart of Israel. I'm Caleb Ben David. Be well, and thank you so much for watching.
I'd like to introduce everyone to one of my nearest and dearest friends, Ariel Stein. Hi, Ariel. Welcome to kosher.com.
Thank you so much for having me, Naomi. This is awesome. I'm so happy to be here.
We actually met. Let's talk on how we met. We actually met in the Bahamas. We both love to travel.
Yes.
And we were invited on a press trip.
We were. That was actually such an amazing trip, not only because where we were was so beautiful, of course the Bahamas, you're on this tropical beach, that's amazing, but really because of the people on it. And I feel so lucky and grateful to have met you on that trip, and that it was almost 2 years ago, actually,
I know, it's
right?
crazy. It's
Time
crazy.
has flown, but that we've like continued to stay in touch and to be friends. And I remember on that trip, you were telling me about Sunny Side Up, and I thought, wow, that sounds so cool, a show that you do on kosher.com, and it feels very surreal that I'm actually on kosher.com with you right now.
Let's talk a little bit about what you do, and then we're gonna get cooking. Hi, I'm Naomi Nachman, and this is Sunny Side Up. So let's get cooking. We'll start with what we're going to make, and then we'll talk a little bit about what you do as well. So
sounds good.
What is all this beautiful, lush colors of the summer doing here on my counter?
This is actually one of my favorite meals to make in the summertime because it's fresh and, like you said, a lot of colors, but it's really a lot of produce. We've got salmon here, and we're gonna kind of bring it all together. We have a main and a salad and a fun drink at the end. So we're gonna start off with this salmon. It's a very simple recipe, but very delicious. We're going to use lemon, dill, and garlic to add to the salmon's flavor.
Okay, so
we're gonna get started with the oil and just drizzle a little bit on these salmon fillets, and you can do this on a full fillet. You can have pre-portioned fillets like this, but it's a really easy meal to make ahead of time as well.
This might actually be a really nice Shabbat day lunch. Salmon.
Yes, and you could serve it hot or cold. So if you wanted to do it for dinner, great. If you want to do it for lunch, it could go either way. Next, we're gonna take this is minced garlic. Yep, just a little bit, and spread it out on top of the olive oil on each of the salmon fillets.
Nothing like fresh crushed garlic. None of that garlic in a jar. The frozen cubes I like.
I have tried the frozen cubes, and I also like them. And if you're in a pinch and you don't have a lot of time, I think that's a great option.
But no jars of garlic, never.
The fresh garlic, you really can't beat that. So we're gonna add the garlic on top. And then we're actually halfway done already.
Okay, I like this kind of recipe.
Easy is the way to go,
Easy
especially,
breezy.
you know, if you're hosting a lot of people, this is something that you could make ahead of time as well. And next we're going to sprinkle a pinch of salt. I'm gonna get in there here. You don't need too much because we already have a lot of flavor going on here. And now with these lemon slices, we're going to carefully just put the slices right on top. On a fillet like this, you could do 3 or 4, depends on the size of.
You probably could do lemon and lime and
yeah,
orange,
just get some of the citrus flavor
oranges.
in there. Exactly.
Yum.
And then to top it all off, we have this fresh dill.
Okay, hold on. There's nothing nice in the smell of freshly cut herbs.
So I am going to be honest with you. I was never a big herb person.
Really?
I really wasn't. And you could ask my husband. I used to really not cook with a lot of herbs. And then after we met and I started cooking more and also having more meals with his family, they used so many fresh herbs like dill, and here we're going to use mint and basil later on.
Ooh.
And now I totally get it. I've been converted to the herbs. And
You know
it
what?
adds so much flavor.
You can actually even grow your own herbs in your garden, or if you don't have a house, you can do it in a pot.
Yeah, I have seen even vertical herb gardens too. So if you're in an apartment, like when we were in an apartment, we didn't have a whole garden space or anything, but that's a good point. And if you want to like just experiment in the garden with a few, you could try basil, mint, or dill. So now we have our salmon. It's ready to pop in the oven. We're going to pop it in at 400 degrees and cook for 12 to 15 minutes.
All right, let's do that. I'm going to pop that in.
And while our salmon is cooking in the oven, we can get started on our summer salad.
Ooh,
This
what have we
is
got
one
here?
of my favorites. We have watermelon.
You talk, Ali.
We've got feta, cucumber, some of the herbs I mentioned before, some red onion, and salt and pepper. This one is a summer classic.
And it's season. It's the summer now. This watermelon is bursting with flavor. Oh my God. I don't know if I can talk right now. Wow. Seriously, bursting with flavor. That's what I love about summertime is their bright, fresh flavors.
Yes.
And to eat the right vegetables and the right fruit at the right season, it's at its peak flavor time, and I love that. So,
Totally.
especially the watermelon, tomatoes, cucumbers, the herbs. It's like bursting with flavor. So what are we doing here?
So we're gonna start by cubing up your watermelon. And this is actually something that sometimes my kids even help me with. And it's, you can get kid-safe knives and your kids.
Those lettuce knives.
Yes, if they like to be in the kitchen, this is something, if you have some watermelon slices, you can have them help you cube it up. And that's gonna be the base of this salad. Then we're gonna add, we don't need all of this, but our cucumber in, and this is like a diced cucumber. And that's gonna add a little bit of the crunch. So let's pour that right on top.
Crisp flavors here.
Yes, really crisp, really fresh.
You could do tomatoes as well. I'm saying I've done tomatoes with
Yes, definitely. Okay, next we have our cubed feta. This is also, you could use feta crumbles, but I love using this because it kind of adds a little bit of that savory taste to the sweetness of the watermelon. So why don't we add some of this
I'm
in
gonna
here?
add some of that.
Awesome.
Here we go.
And while you're adding that, I'm gonna actually shred up, we've got some basil right here. And this is another fresh herb that I am not afraid to admit I didn't used to be into, but now
Really?
I don't know, for some reason, I guess I didn't grow up eating a lot of herbs, or maybe it just wasn't for me, and now as an adult, I can appreciate it a lot more.
Smelling the packet.
It really,
oh my God, this smells so good. We were talking before about vertically grown. This basil is vertically grown.
Oh.
It's clean, fresh, ready to use, checked, and we were able to just open it up, and you were just able to pop it right into the salad, just like that. It's a really great product.
that's amazing.
And you can smell the basil. You can see how
I
fresh
wish we
it is.
had smell-o-vision, because all of these vegetables and herbs, they just smell amazing.
Coming together.
All right, here we have our mint.
Okay, I'm going to add in. So Ariel, tell us a little bit about what you are up to in the real world outside of my kosher.com kitchen.
When I'm not in the kosher.com kitchen with you, Naomi, I'm a Jewish educator, and I share all about Jewish life, holidays, traditions with people of all ages. I really have a focus, though, on parents of young children and how to inspire their kids to be excited and feel proud of being Jewish through easy recipes around the holidays, crafts, activities, and things to just empower children to be excited about Judaism.
I love what you're doing. Do you have a background in education?
I do. I got my master's in Jewish education, and before doing this, I was working at a Hillel with college-age students and also at a Jewish day school in the classroom. So really educating all over the place, and now I'm just on a new platform on social media, which is really cool because I feel like I can reach even more people.
I think you're doing an amazing job, and you speak so well to everyone, and I feel like when you are doing your reels and your recipes or your education, you are talking to me directly, and there's no one else here. And I love that.
Thank you for saying that,
I
Naomi.
love that. I love what you do.
When I was in school as a graduate student pursuing Jewish education degree, I definitely never expected to take this path, but I feel so lucky that I'm able to show Jewish joy, especially in the times that we're living in, because it's really important for us to celebrate being Jewish and not only focus on some of the harder things going on.
Well, I think you said that beautifully. All right, let's
Thank
finish
you.
up our
All right,
salad
now
a
that
little
we have
bit.
all of our ingredients in our salad bowl, it's time to dress it. We're gonna start with this lime juice. You can also use lemon, and just gonna add a little drizzle on top here.
Okay. I like to heavily dress my salads. I don't know how you feel about that.
I feel like it depends on the salad. In this case,
Lightly
we're gonna
dressed.
do a light dressing, and with the salt here, we don't need a lot, just a tiny pinch, because the feta already has a lot of that saltiness in there. Well,
she doesn't know me that well.
I'm like, don't overseason it. But we can do some cracked pepper in here as well.
Nothing like fresh cracked pepper. Also, just if you have at home the regular in the shaker, that's great. Works well for Shabbat. But there is nothing like the grinder.
And then we're gonna toss it and finish off with this delicious raspberry glaze with balsamic vinegar. So let's toss the salad first, and then we'll end with this drizzle before we serve it, and then we will check on our salmon. Good. And now we're gonna add in some olive oil and our balsamic glaze while you toss this.
Okay, I'll toss, you drizzle. How about
all
that?
of the flavors come out so nicely together. It's
Keeping
okay.
it real.
We're keeping it real. Sometimes we make a little mess in the kitchen.
I love these glazes.
They are so delicious and easy to use, and especially on a salad like this, just adds so much flavor.
And you can also use it as decoration.
Totally.
When you want to finish something off and you want to garnish something or make it look pretty, just give it a quick little zip, and it's great.
Yes, on salads. My husband's also used them just to do that, like adorning. We'll do puff pastries sometimes and do a drizzle on top.
Oh,
you can actually
I like
use
that.
this for a lot of different things. So this is our beautiful salad. Look at these colors. Look at all these flavors.
I'm going to eat this right now, but I will hold out because we've got one more recipe to make. This is a triple threat recipe video. All right, let's go to our next one.
This is what I'm most excited for. Tell me, Naomi, what this drink is.
Okay, so this is a collaborative video, as always. So Ariel did the salad and the delicious fish. But I said, I've got something we can add into this. This is something I did a few years ago with Tuscanini's rosé grape juice. It's actually sparkling. You can also do this as an adult drink with, of course, the blue bottle Moscato, but to make this non-alcoholic. So you need a bottle of this and some frozen strawberries. So we're going to
That's it?
Yeah, that's
This
it.
couldn't
This
be
is
any
going to be
easier.
the most fun drink, like a frosé.
Sounds so refreshing, especially on a hot summer day.
And with your salad and with your fish,
Perfect.
or even if you want to go meat and have it at your barbecue. It's just a fun drink. And there's no real recipe.
We're gonna just blend these frozen strawberries with the
together.
rosé.
And
I
everybody's
love that.
machine is different. And let's blend that up. Start. Yeah, that's the whole recipe. You
were
good.
not kidding when you told me that this was easy. All right.
You can add in a little rum if you want for the adults. Here, let's pour this in and have a l'chaim, and then we're going to eat our food.
Thinking about also, my girls, they always love mocktails, and they feel very fancy, and how easy this was to just
it's easy. So
throw together.
I pour it into, see, look, it's literally
Perfect. Wow.
a frosé, a frozen rosé.
Now I feel like I'm on vacation again.
Yeah, right? Take me back to the Bahamas.
Transporting me to the Bahamas again.
Okay, let's clean up.
Sounds good.
Put the l'chaim on hold, and then we'll have a nice little lunch together.
Sounds
All right,
good.
Can I serve you lunch?
I would be honored.
Okay, so we're going to have your salmon. Oh,
This looks great.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Okay, let's do salad.
Awesome.
You're my guest. I'm going to treat my guests well.
Thank you so much, Naomi. We've been talking about getting together and having a meal together. I didn't expect it to be on the kosher.com, but I will take it. This is amazing.
Let's do a l'chaim before we eat. L'chaim,
Yes,
thanks for coming on the show to kosher.com. And to all our viewers, thank you for tuning in.
Wow, that is delicious. So good. Do I have?
Yeah. Do we have strawberry on our mouths? It's cold.
You got it. That's a true friend, though. You would tell me if I had.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
how
good.
you know. You're good.
Okay,
You're
great.
good.
Now let's eat.
Yes, b'tei avon.
Ariel, the salmon is amazing.
I just tried the salad first, and we nailed it.
We nailed it.
It's like taking a bite out of summer. Right? Time to try the salmon.
Good
Yummy.
job. This is outrageous.
And so easy, right?
So
That's
easy.
my go-to.
So delicious. Thank you so much for coming onto the set.
Thank you, Naomi.
My pleasure. I look forward to many more fun cooking and travel adventures with you. And for recipes like this and more, go to
kosher.com.
Yay! Pause
For themselves, for me.
as you saw, and we just popped the basil
Right away.
straight into the camera.
Yeah.
We just were able to. Sorry, you saw my mistake, right? I know I said camera.
Pop it into the salad bowl. Into the bowl.
I want to make sure my phone is on silent because you know it's gonna ring. All right. Okay, we're rolling. Hi, Kim.
Hello.
So great to see you.
Great to be here.
It's been a long time since we've actually met up in person, but we know each other a really long time.
Yes, we do.
Before there was social media, there was a few ladies who love to cook and entertain, and we'd get together, we talk about food and we talk about our families, and we enjoyed the whole process, and we had a small community, and then it just grew and grew and grew, and
Here we are.
like 10 years later, you've written how many books?
4 books.
4 cookbooks. So we're going to make some delicious food today, so I hope you'll enjoy our incredible episode. Hi, I'm Naomi Nachman, and this is Sunny Side Up. So what are we going to make today?
We are going to be making a one-pot meal, a delicious, what I like to call Sunday soup, because I make this soup almost every Sunday night, any time of year. It is just lots of veggies. It's quick and easy to make. I add chicken, I add barley. It's hearty, it's comforting, it's delicious, and it's super easy.
Okay, I like the word super easy, and I know a lot of our followers and our people that watch Sunny Side Up really love simple and easy and full of flavor. And as you can see, I've got an array of incredible ingredients in front of me, and including that baguette sandwich. So, okay, so when would you make this?
What I love about this recipe is that it's really a crowd pleaser. So this is the perfect type of recipe to make if you're bringing a friend a meal, if somebody's just had a baby, or somebody's recovering, or you just want to help a friend out. Put it in a gorgeous jar, bring it over, and it's really plentiful and delicious.
You know, on that note, I want to just talk about your beautiful photography in your cookbooks, and also it's got a lot of lifestyle photographs, and the way you present your dishes in your cookbook, whether it's you holding something or it's a close-up of the food, the way you present your food is absolutely incredible, and we're going to be able to show that some of that today when we do our recipe. So should we get cooking?
Yes, let's get cooking. So we have here some butternut squash, zucchini, sweet potatoes, and carrots, and some onion. These are the basic ingredients that I would use, but you could completely substitute it for other vegetables. If you have fennel, if you have red onion, if you don't have the butternut squash and you just want to use carrots and sweet potatoes, it totally works. It's very, very versatile.
Okay.
What's cool about this recipe is I make it very easy by putting all of these veggies into the food processor.
So no knife, no cutting board, just
1, 2, 3, we're going to chop it up. Make it a little bit, not mushy, but just a small chop.
Oh, I'm really looking forward to this recipe because I love to see something that's got a good shortcut.
Yes. And I love making this also if I have vegetables that are left over in the fridge. What should I do with them? You just throw them all together.
That's why Sunday night, after Shabbos, you've got all the leftover veggies from the weekend. You're going to go shopping Monday morning and you get to restock, but let's get rid of the old veggies first.
Just going to pulse a few times so that it gets to be small chopped.
And notice it's a larger food processor. It's 14 cups. You can...
And using the metal blade.
Okay. Or the S times. Okay.
We have some oil, olive oil, in the pot
nice
that's
and hot.
getting nice and hot. And we're going to add these ingredients in, and then we're going to go back and chop the rest up.
Usually when I start a soup, I just fry the onion first, but here we're going right in for it.
All at once, and this way the flavors will all infuse together, everything will melt together. It's really delicious. And I love this texture. You can see that it's like chopped up little pieces of the vegetable, so it's not a puree and it's not a chunky soup, it's something in between.
Back you go. Thank you. All right, for next round.
Next round.
Okay.
Here we have the carrots, the zucchini, and the sweet potato.
I'm a big soup person. I could have soup all year long, all day long. It could be 100 degrees outside on a Shabbos, on a Friday, and I want to still serve my chicken soup on Friday night. I love cold soup, hot soup, you name it.
So we're going to add this into the pot.
There we go. I'm just going to watch out for that the S blade popping out at me. Here we go. And then just scrape the sides down. It smells so good, Kim, already.
So everything is going to get nice and sauteed. We're going to season with salt and black pepper. And then we're going to cover it and let it cook for about 10 minutes. Just till everything gets nice and translucent and softened. Cover it up.
Right, clean up as you go. We're cleaning up as we go. Little bits of flying veg.
A clean kitchen is always super important in my book. So it's been about 10 minutes, and we're going to see what's going on. Everything is just getting soft and delicious and fragrant and beautiful. And we're just going to add the rest of the ingredients.
Okay, so
here's what we're going to do. We're going to add you can use chicken stock, veg stock, or water. We're going to use vegetable stock.
Do you have any tips for us on how to stop making a stew from being so watery? Sometimes, you know, if you add the liquid.
I do the potato trick.
Okay,
anytime it is too salty, it is too spicy, it is too liquidy, I'll take a whole potato, peel it, and I pop it in. Ooh. So what that does, it will absorb a lot of those salty, heavy, strong flavors. And then you could just mash the potato in, and it will thicken the broth.
You don't remove the potato, you keep it in there.
Keep it in there, it will break up. You could use a masher to mash it.
It's a miracle work of the potato.
It really is. Okay, so we have the stock in. Now we are going to add some dark chicken. You could really use any cut of chicken.
And you're not even cutting it up, it's just going whole.
It's going whole. And
I love this.
Once it's cooked, we're going to shred it or chop it, depending on your preference.
Okay,
We're going to also add a cup of barley that's been rinsed. So that's going to go right in.
Your leftover cholent bag.
Exactly. And then we have here a bouquet of fresh dill that we're going to put in for some flavor.
Dill?
Yes, dill for like that
Oh, I love dill.
Burst of freshness, really. I love using dill in soup. We'll remove it once it's done cooking, and we're going to let it simmer nice and slowly. And then, of course, we're going to season according to your taste with lots of salt and black pepper.
Okay. Oh, are we basically done with that whole soup?
This is it.
This is made all at once. That took literally from the start of this till now.
You know what? This was a soup that I started making when my kids were little, and I would take a little bowl aside if I had a baby. I would put it in the food processor and puree it. So I'd have a puree for the baby. I'd have a delicious, hearty, chunky, yummy soup for everyone else. It freezes beautifully. So I make a huge pot of this. I separate it into jars, pop them in the freezer. I always have it on hand. And everyone loves it. It's easy.
I love this, that it's really something for the whole family. It's something that you can use for a friend. So when a new mum's got this, they can feed their toddlers. No matter how you feed your baby, you've got something for everyone, from the adults to the babies. And this is really fantastic.
Thank you.
All right. Kim, what have we got here? What beautiful thing have you prepared for us here?
Thank you so much. So it's really just basic, gorgeous, fresh baguettes that you could pick up at your local bakery or supermarket. And then we have some grilled vegetables. We have mushrooms, zucchini, colorful, beautiful peppers, of course, red onion, grilled, delicious. Some nice arugula. This is some pesto. You can use homemade or store-bought.
I'm smelling the pesto, all these flavors.
Hummus, basil, and parsley, and then we have some jammy eggs.
Gorgeous jammy eggs.
Just the components to a perfect sandwich. I love the idea of making a sandwich in a baguette because you could feed a whole family. It is enticing. It is beautiful. It's I'm always thinking about gourmet gifts. You know, what can I prepare that would be easy to gift to somebody? Because at the end of the day, in my mind, especially when people are going through a hard time, like, what's the best thing you can do for them is prepare a meal, drop off some food.
I love this idea. This is so beautiful, and it's so beautifully presented. So you can nourish their ruchnias and you can nourish the gashmias by making it look so pretty as well.
Right, and even when we have celebrations, you know, spring is here, you want to go to the park, you want to have a picnic. This is so easy.
Yeah,
Wrap a baguette in parchment paper after you've made your, you know, perfect sandwich. Bring it with you, slice it up. It's easy.
And I love this. What is this kitchen?
Oh, it's just kitchen twine.
Okay. It's something so simple you can buy online and make this whole sandwich look even more gourmet.
Another thing I love to do with my kids, and I don't know how you feel about it, but they sometimes like getting their hands dirty and being active in the kitchen. Sometimes I'll lay out the board, I'll cut the baguettes in half or in quarters, and everybody can make their own sandwich.
Right, it's an interactive dinner, and you can put some salmon or cubed
grilled
chicken.
Yeah, sure. You can, if you want to make it dairy, you can have beautiful slices of cheese. There's so many ways to go about this.
You're making me very hungry, Kim. Very hungry.
So, I mean, it's perfectly easy. You have your baguette, you slice it open, and then you build your sandwich.
Okay, make me a Kim sandwich.
Okay, you want a Kim sandwich?
I want a Kim sandwich.
So I love always a delicious, easy 5-minute hummus. Cannot go wrong. And that's going to also keep the baguette nice and moist. So I'm going to put on a thin layer of that.
I'm just going to lower the soup now it's come to the boil, okay?
Okay, great. And this is actually the perfect sandwich to accompany a hearty soup. If you don't want to just send over a soup, what would be great to send with it? A gorgeous sandwich.
A sandwich. Or if you don't want to just send a sandwich, you could send a soup. It goes both ways.
So we have some hummus. You can also use fresh vegetables. We have avocado here. You could slice up an avocado. You can use...
Avocado and hummus is so good together. I love it. Like two soft, mushy things just go so well together. With some tomato for a little bit of acid.
Tomato.
Tomato, you said so. You with your Montreal accent, me my Aussie accent.
So we have the red onion here. We are going to add some beautiful slices of zucchini. And then here's how I would do it. I would add a little bit of the jammy eggs, which are just creamy, rich, delicious. Everybody, my kids love these. And then, of course, I'm going to top it with some arugula and some fresh basil. And then we'll do a little bit of the pesto to drizzle right on top.
Oh, guys, this looks amazing. A sandwich for Naomi by Kim.
You got it. I'll
right
feed
here
you,
on
I'll
Sunny
feed you
Side Up.
any day.
And I'll be happy to eat any day.
So a little bit of the pesto.
And there's each bite has got a little bit of each flavour there. So, oh, she's salting it. Have a note. Have a note. She's doing salt and pepper on the sandwich.
Yeah. And that's it. And you can serve it this way whole, which is fun, and bring a knife to cut it if you have a cutting board and a large knife. If you're transporting it, you could cut it into threes or quarters or half.
Do you have a favourite bread knife that you like to use?
I love to use a big serrated knife when I'm cutting breads or bagels or sourdough.
Really important. Always have the right knife.
Absolutely. It's also because you create such a beautiful sandwich, you want to do it justice. Yes.
Yeah.
And this is it. I wrapped it here. This one is a little different. This one has peppers, basil, zucchini. It's just gorgeous and delicious.
Oh, that looks incredible. All right, should we go check on our soup?
Let's go.
Let's go have a look. All right, it's time to serve up the soup, but a jar, not a bowl. What's up?
The truth is, when I make soups and I freeze them, I happen to love freezing them in glass jars.
So you can actually freeze in this? This is actually news to me because I usually do plastic quart containers.
I just feel like it tastes better in glass than it does in plastic. Maybe that's
like
me.
Wine.
Exactly. But also for gifting. I love when I'm dropping somebody a soup. It's just so beautiful to drop it in the jar, and if they're great friends, they'll return the jar.
So is this a special kind of jar? What kind of jar?
You know, this is
you go to Amazon, I want a jar. Like what kind of jar?
There are mason jars, but there are some that are fancier than others. This is from a brand called Le Parfait that has a nice plastic rubber seal, which I like a lot, and I just think it's a gorgeous jar and a great shape because you could really feed.
Okay, and we would say this is about 3 to 4 serving. Is this a quart size?
I would say it's a quart, and I would say
that's
that
about 4.
I would say 3 to 4.
From our, both Kim and I being personal chefs as well. We didn't even talk about our catering past.
We go way back.
And we really know food. We love food. And you've got a Moroccan background, which makes you automatically a PhD in cooking, because the Moroccans are the best cooks, and everybody knows it.
Thank you for saying it. I always wanted a PhD.
Yeah,
so,
well, I anoint you with a
Naomi.
PhD. I'm from a Polish background. I think my grandmother, my mother are amazing cooks, but there's something about the Moroccan women who just they know food, they know how to cook. Okay, look at that.
And then, you'll wait for it to cool slightly, and then it's just this alongside the gorgeous, gorgeous sandwiches. It's all in one meal, something you are going to look forward to digging into.
Well, I know that after the show, we are going to dig into this soup. Just have a look how Kim is folding the napkin, making it look pretty. It's all about making it nice, delicious. Kim, thank you so much for coming on the set today. I was so happy to have you here. And again, to continue to learn from you and to eat your yummy food and just spend some quality time together is amazing. So thank you. And for recipes like this and more, go to kosher.com. England
and Sydney, Australia.
Welcome, Dobby Baum
and Naomi Nachman.
Whoa, finally, I get you on the set. Welcome, Dobby. And what are we going to make today?
Dobby's chicken and potatoes.
Well, I can't wait. Let's get cooking. Hi, I'm Naomi Nachman, and this is Sunny Side Up. Dobby, I'm so happy to have you on the show. It's been something I've tried to get you for a while, and timing has just worked out perfectly. Excited. Tell me what's first.
So first we have to put the onions and the frozen garlic cubes.
Frozen garlic cubes. Where do we keep frozen garlic cubes? We keep them in the freezer.
Oh yes.
Cut.
Okay.
And we're back with the garlic. Okay. I love frozen garlic cubes.
Like to eat them by themselves?
No. I probably could smash that on some bread, but I love how convenient and easy they are.
Because I'm not a chef, right? So in my recipe, you have frozen garlic cubes.
Right, but I am a chef and I love the frozen garlic cubes. Nothing like a good cheat.
Okay, good to
Nothing
know.
like the fresh, but these are Hashem's next best thing. Okay.
Amazing. So layer all the onions at the bottom of the pan.
Oven to tableware. Like use an oven to tableware dish or pan, disposable.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right.
So, and then we put 2 garlic cubes. It doesn't really matter where it is because the flavor will seep in anyway.
Okay.
So
2 or as many as you like.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you like it more garlicky?
Then we put the oil in. A third of a cup.
This is a third of a cup of
Yeah.
extra virgin olive oil.
Yes.
Always yummy. I love it. Okay.
Okay.
Just going to mix that around. You always want things evenly cooked.
Yeah, you want
so
the oil
you just
to
mix
get
it around.
everywhere, exactly.
And smush that garlic once it's defrosted a little bit.
Then we are going to put the chicken on top of the onions.
Just place it
4
on top
chicken
like
legs,
that?
Just place it on top.
Okay, I love the simpleness
It's very
of this dish.
It's all in one pan. So like you can do this for a dinner like now in the winter when it's like cold.
And it's
just,
easy.
like,
and you're like a really busy mum. You're an entertainer. You do women's
teach
performances and
voice
you teach
lessons
voice
every day.
lessons. Do you think you could give me a voice lesson?
So I could give you a voice tip today about voice lessons.
So I need a voice tip. Give me a voice tip while I put the chicken on.
Okay, a voice tip. Let's say when you're trying to
I talk a lot.
project your voice really loud.
Like when I want to.
Yeah, and do you sometimes feel like suddenly it's like
Yeah, I want to clear my throat.
Exactly. So before you use a very loud voice, just take a really deep breath in from like your rib cage.
Like that?
No, so like shoulders down.
Okay, shoulders down.
You put your hand by your waist.
My hand by my waist.
Feel the air going into your waist and you take a deep breath. And then now you can scream.
Clean your room! Is that okay?
So you could really project your voice. Like you could go louder than that. And then you won't feel that because you're taking that good deep breath.
Good to know, good to know. I'm glad I'm sure my kids are very happy that I had a vocal lesson with you today. Yeah. I'm not really a singer, I'm more of a screamer.
Right, so do you know sometimes people like ask me like, oh, so could you teach my daughter like how to sing in one lesson? I'm like, you can't teach someone in one day. Like voice lessons, you see progress, minimum 6 months you have to give yourself. It's really a slow process. Yeah.
I wish I could sing.
You could.
I've
By the
always
way,
admired all the
you
female
sing
singers.
on tune, which is a big deal.
We
You sing
sang
on
off
pitch.
camera. We sang off camera. I can
Naomi
sing
sings on pitch. And not a lot of people have perfect pitch, even good singers.
I don't have perfect pitch, but I know I can I can sing up and it comes in. You
Yeah,
know?
no, really.
What do I
If you ever want to become a singer in another lifetime,
I'm more of an eater. That's how I use my mouth. I eat. Okay. What's next?
Now we are going to put the potatoes.
All right,
So
potatoes.
we have 1 sweet potato cube, and then
so peeled and cubed goes in.
Yeah, you can. So you like spread it out like evenly, however you want to. You know, you could decide.
And this recipe, you know, even though we're showing 4, this can be easily doubled for a bigger family.
For sure.
Or
Yeah,
even
see,
tripled.
My family is a family of 4. I have 2 kids, so that's why I made the recipe for 4 chicken legs.
Right, because this can go for 4.
Yeah, or
8.
even if your family are not big eaters, you can even have it for more than 4 people.
Okay.
Okay,
All right,
and then
so-
we're gonna take the regular potatoes.
Okay.
I usually use 2, but you can use 3 if you like more potatoes. It's totally up to you.
This is a brand new knife. I love it. So
Oh, wow, it's
you
sharp.
see, it's going right. Did you see how that went through the potatoes?
That's
okay.
scary. I come from a Hungarian family, so most of the food that I grew up with is like traditional food. Like, you know...
What's traditional?
European traditional food, like just the paprika powder and the onion powder.
We once made chicken paprikash right here on kosher.com.
Yeah, see, like just oil, like you don't think about diets, you just...
Oil, salt,
Yeah, you make
flavor.
it with a chicken
flavor
fat
and love.
and it's hearty.
Right.
Yeah,
Hearty.
It's hearty.
I know, I'm making fun of your accent, but I've got one too. What do the Americans, that we have accents? To each other, we don't have accents,
I know.
right? Even though you're British and I'm Aussie.
But I feel at home when I talk to you.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, because it's more common. We have a lot of common words.
People tell me all the
also.
time, are you from Australia? And I'm like, you know what, it's a compliment.
Right. Well, people ask me if I'm British, and I'll say, no.
I've never been to Australia.
Oh, okay.
Actually.
I've been to England a bunch. We'll have to. I'm sure they would love you to
it's
come.
on my bucket list because
every place should be on your bucket list, but Sydney's really beautiful.
I mean, yeah.
Sometimes we have Sydney in the
one day.
Sometimes we have Sydney in the background.
Oh, that's
okay,
good.
so now we've got our chicken in and our pan.
Potatoes. Okay.
And
now the
potatoes.
spices.
Okay.
You can choose whatever order you want to put it in.
Okay.
It is
so
really no difference.
We're going to start off with some salt. Okay, salt, and is it garlic powder, onion powder?
Garlic powder, onion powder, paprika,
This is
and
something
black
I
pepper.
make. My kids have something like this. They call it pink chicken.
So I like to put a lot of garlic powder, onion powder, and
So
like
wait,
specifically.
so I should add more.
Yeah, I like to put a lot because it comes out like really flavorful and juicy.
Okay. We call this pink chicken in my house, something
Why
very
pink?
similar
Let me
because
hear.
the paprika makes it pink. And I have a house
okay.
of daughters, so only girls, and they love.
You only want to eat pink. When
They
you
love
go.
pink, everything
Yeah,
pink.
yeah.
See, I'm wearing pink.
I love
okay.
Okay.
Paprika.
Paprika.
For the
So
Hungarian
paprika doesn't
accent.
have to be so much. Actually, it's more the garlic.
colour.
Yeah, it's more the garlic powder and the onion powder. I like the flavor if I put a lot.
Am
of
I
that.
supposed to put it on the veggies as well?
Yes. Also on the potatoes.
I missed. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's
It's
go
like
back.
a one-pan dish. It's like the whole.
Okay. So everything gets. I'm just going to take a bit more of each.
Yeah.
And just go back and get those potatoes.
Yeah.
Like a little bit of what do they shisaran in Yiddish?
Shisaran, we say in London.
In London, okay. and black
Okay,
pepper.
black pepper. So I don't love a lot of black pepper, so
Just a
I
little
only
bit.
put a little bit. But you could do what you want.
You do you.
You do you. But my way is I just
little bit.
a little sprinkle and it's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Now.
And now we put the wine. So if you don't want to use wine, you can use water instead.
Oh, but this is really good cooking wine. This really just when you use like the Tuscanini cooking wine, it just
it's
adds
the flavor.
a lot of flavor. And this is
Exactly.
actually from the Piedmont area in Italy, and I've been there, and it has got fantastic terroir and climate and taste of the climate, and it's so
Yum.
good. I've gone truffle hunting there. I went to
Yum.
a hazelnut farm there. It's just a fabulous
I
region
love that.
for
I like
agriculture.
using wine for sure because it's just the flavor, the whole.
I went to, of course, a winery there, but they have really good agriculture there.
I love that.
Just like this?
So it's like use like a whole cup. You want it. The point of this dish is you want it to be really juicy chicken. You don't want it to be like dry and like you can barely scrape it off your fork.
Well, the one thing about bottoms is they really hold their moisture and flavour. I find that tops, I know that a lot of people are, you team tops or team bottoms, or what do they say, white or dark? I feel that bottoms also they're so durable and you can't really ruin them.
Right.
So should I just put a bit more spices on top?
Yeah.
Because I doused it in that white wine.
Yeah, so the story really behind this recipe is that...
I love a good story behind the recipe.
Yeah, there's a story. Like, why did I make my own recipe? Is because I use cookbooks all the time. Yes. By the way, I make Naomi's challah every single week.
Oh, yeah!
Every week, without
Perfect
fail.
flavours.
I make your challah.
Thank
my
you.
My husband loves it.
Okay, I'm just taking the spoon. I'm just
okay, so
giving
basically
it a bit of a toss, making sure
amazing.
everything's
Just make sure that all the flavor.
And this is what I do when I make a similar kind of spice rub like this. I just want to make sure it's evenly coated, so when it comes out, it looks evenly pretty.
Right. I would put even more wine.
Go for it, Docs.
Yeah, I would
it's your
do that.
recipe, love.
I would put a lot more because my husband likes when the chicken like melts off the bone and you don't have to work too hard to take that piece of chicken off it. Also my kids, they'll get annoyed if it's like, it's not coming off. So I've tried a lot of chicken recipes I'm married now for 9 years almost. And I've tried a lot of chicken recipes, but every time I've tried like from these old cookbooks or whatever, it just doesn't come out juicy enough because they tell me usually to bake it for like 1 hour and it's just doesn't get
No, you need
soft
chicken
enough.
on the bone.
So that's
how long do we cook this for?
I made it that you cook it on 450 covered for an hour, and then you cook it for another hour on 375. I know, you're freaking out.
This is a new one for me too.
I know, you're
$4.50 covered 1 hour.
And keep it covered for another hour on 375. I know you're freaking out, but trust me, people that have eaten...
I cannot wait to try this recipe.
People that have tasted my chicken, guess, they're like, yum, why is it so soft? Why is it so good?
Okay, you're breaking my rule of thumb.
I know.
I like
Look,
that.
I'm not a chef, and that's why I can break rules.
So now we're covering it.
And I just like to add the potatoes because if you're giving chicken to your kids, let them have some carbs as well. I mean, a one-pan dinner.
I love potatoes. Potatoes, no rice. I don't do rice. We do potatoes.
No. Yeah.
Okay, into the oven it goes.
Into the oven it goes.
450 1 hour.
450 1 hour.
Let's go. You can open the door for me.
Okay.
The kitchen smells amazing. Now let's go get it out. I'm so hungry. Can someone shut the oven door, please? Thank you. Okay, so we had this covered the whole time, but we lowered the temperature. It started off at 450 for 1 hour,
and then
covered, and then we lowered it to 375, still covered.
Still covered.
And that's how it retains all the juices.
I want the juice to stay in. Like, I'm a science geek, and I know, like, evaporation. So I need it to condense and stay inside.
Okay, here we go. It's dripping with some of the juices, and some potato, and the onion. Oh my gosh, I love that.
Yeah, the onions and the potatoes. A variety of sweet potato and regular potato.
All right.
By the way, do you know I had stage fright today?
Why on earth would you have stage fright?
Because I'm weird like that, and I only don't have stage fright when I'm on a stage with thousands of people. But when I'm in like a small room with a few cameras, I get really nervous.
Oh, well, just to let you know, we have thousands of people watching across the globe.
Okay, that makes me feel better.
They're just not in the room right now, but we have, Baruch Hashem, an amazing Sunny Side Up audience on all our amazing shows.
I love that.
All right, we're digging in here. We've got a little bit of everything on our plate here.
Get some chicken.
I've got a little chicken. See how it falls off the bone?
Yeah.
No knife. No knife required. Maybe that should be the name of the chicken. The teavon.
Okay.
The chaim.
Wow.
But that's not normal. You blew my mind with the way you cook with the chicken temperature. Unreal.
Thank you. I was nervous. I'm like, I'm cooking in front of someone famous.
You're famous. Guys, this is amazing. If you want, you can throw in some beautiful garnish on top. This was a fabulous recipe. Thank you so much for joining us, Dobby.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure to have you here. And for recipes and more like this, go to
kosher.com. Thank you.
So how do you say sunny side up in Hungarian?
Actually, we say like a mirrored egg. Tükörtojás.
Tükörtojás. How was that?
Okay.
Hi, I'm Naomi Nachman, and this is Sunny Side Up. I'm sure we'll do better cooking. Welcome, Aki Schwartz, to Sunny Side Up. It is so great to have you here.
Thank you so much.
I've actually just come back from a trip to Hungary, and I called up Agi, and I'm like, Agi, I love the food in Hungary. So much kosher, so many kosher restaurants,
right?
And so much Jewish history. And I went out to Kerestir, and with Avi Klein, he took me,
yes.
and I went to the Chasam Sofer, and I explored all the different shuls in Hungary. It was a beautiful, beautiful city. And
Hungary is definitely full of history, Jewish and regular history. But of course, growing up there, I was 20 when I came here to America, so I was literally born and raised there. And my family was very much involved in the Jewish community. My father was the Rosh Hakol of the Orthodox community. He passed away 9 years ago. And our family was literally, my father, most of his friends came out to America in the late 50s or early 60s. But my father stayed because he wanted to keep up Yiddishkeit. And he was, as we call it, the one-man band. He was the Mail till Chevra Kadisha, doing it all. Bal Kaire, Bal
Bal everything.
Bal everything.
Bal everything.
And bal for my mother.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yes.
And we're very glad that you're here with us. And
Thank you.
I'm really thrilled that
you.
we're going to make something Hungarian.
Yes.
Because I've got a Polish background, so it's a little different. It's
Just around the corner.
But we really wanted to make chicken paprikash, so
Yes.
I'm really excited. I had so much great food.
This is the real comfort food that now in today's day, like we all crave some comfort food after all the news that's going on. We could always use a little comfort
good
food.
chicken paprikash.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get cooking. All right, what am I doing first?
So our main ingredients, as I don't know if you remember once when we were on a chop competition.
Yeah, Aggie was one of the first people ever to do a chop
I
competition
didn't
with
win
me.
though.
Sorry, I wasn't the judge.
I know, but you asked me while I was cooking that what's the secret. Because it happens to be all the contestants became, one was Israeli, one was I think French, and I was Hungarian. So you had 3 different nationalities on the stage. So you came over to everybody asking them what their secret ingredients in their nationality. So when you came over to me, I don't know, I was middle of cooking and I was busy, but I just spit out our secret ingredient is love. And it got stuck to us. And I still say it, that Hungarian cooking is the warmth, is just the coziness. Most of the recipes are very, very kitchen staple ingredients that you can make out of your fridge, out of your pantry, and they're really just real comfort food.
Yeah, I'm seeing like simple.
Yes, simple and delicious.
Probably good layering of flavor. All right, what
it's
goes
all
first?
about building. Okay.
So what are we doing first? Where?
Okay, so first of all, every chicken dish that you want to make in a pot, and when you don't bake it, I like to brown it. First of all, it locks in the flavors, locks in the juices.
I always like
especially if you use chicken on the bone. It locks in the flavor, and also when you cook in the pot itself, gets automatically flavored, extra flavor from all the scrapes that come off from the chicken or meat.
We're gonna cook this on the stove.
We're gonna first cook it on the stovetop. You could make it in an oven, but the original, authentic Hungarian way, they didn't have ovens. They had fire in the garden. First, we have to pat dry the chickens because like this, the seasoning will stick to it better.
Okay.
Now we're gonna sprinkle some kosher salt on it.
Okay. So what's next?
Okay. Next is some black pepper.
Okay.
We could use either freshly ground, which is of course always fresher, or we could use a regular fresh pepper.
I love the fresher ground pepper.
Nothing beats fresh.
And I also turn it though on the smaller setting. These have got a grinder in,
right,
from small to big grind. So I like it on the small
From
grind.
your grocery shelf to the chicken. Very good.
Okay.
And now we're gonna turn on the heat in our pot. I like to first heat up the pot and then put in the oil because then the oil doesn't burn. Some people put in the oil and then turn on the pot and don't realize that the oil starts burning. So first we warm up the pot and then...
And this is a cast iron.
Yeah,
it's a very
you don't
heavy
have to use
duty.
cast iron because you know some people. First of all, it's not a cheap pot, but it's a good investment to have in every kitchen.
It's also a really good workout because it's really heavy to lift.
100%.
Okay. Okay.
You know, whenever you
no
wanna,
joke, it's that heavy. Okay.
People use it for sourdough bread. I still didn't join that wagon. But
You haven't?
No, because I don't have 2 days to make a bread.
Who's got time for that? Okay.
Yes. So now that our pot is warming,
yeah,
we're gonna put some oil so we could sear the chicken.
How much? Just a little bit?
Yeah, just like 2-3 tablespoons, just to cover the bottom a little bit.
Straight down?
Skin down.
Skin side down. That's important, right?
Yes. So many people. Oh, did you hear?
It's speaking to us. It's speaking.
That's right. And it says it's gonna
singing.
be delicious.
It's
Phenom.
Sing. Sing food. Sing.
The harmony of the chickens.
The chicken dance. Da-na-na-na-na-na.
That's right. So the reason we put in the chicken to brown, some people skip that part, but it locks in flavors. Now that we put in skin side down the chicken, we're gonna season with salt and pepper the other side also.
So you season it while it's
the easiest because you don't have to flip it around when it's still raw. Nobody wants to touch raw chicken if it's not necessary.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
And by the time we season the other side, we're ready to flip it. We don't need so much, just to lock in all the flavors. It doesn't have to be fully cooked. So it's gonna cook in the delicious sauce.
It already smells, I feel like it smells like Shabbos.
I know. Okay, so let's split the chicken pieces.
What are we looking for? What color are we looking for?
Very light golden.
Light golden.
You don't want it like a roast chicken because it's perfect. Paprika chicken.
Can we get that? Good color? This is good?
This is perfection. We're going to remove the chicken for a little bit. Then we're going to cook our onion, pepper, garlic, and some spices. And we're going to return the chicken and cook it in the sauce, low and slow.
Yum.
Hungarian language happens to be, years ago I learned that they had a contest between languages, and guess which language won the nicest language in Europe?
Hungarian?
No.
Italian?
No.
Okay.
Come
French.
on. That's right.
Ah.
The French.
The French.
And Hungarian in all this contest was the hardest language.
Yeah, I heard it's hard to learn.
Grammar is very hard. Like for us, obviously, we were born and raised in it, not hard. But when somebody needs to learn it, there are so many he, she, they, like there's a lot of...
Like Hebrew.
I think even harder.
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
We learn it from little kids in yeshiva, so it's easier for us. But
that's right.
It was not so easy.
When people spot me talking to my Hungarian friends in Borough Park, Hungarian, they look at me like, you're too young to speak the language. Like, they imagine Hungarian is only for the old bobbies.
You're the youngest person I know with a Hungarian accent. Okay, we've got colour on both sides. I'm putting them on this plate.
Yes, we are placing it on the chicken. Okay, and now comes building up the flavors.
Oh.
First of all, when you think that after sauteing a chicken and your pot is dirty, no, it's not dirty. That's called flavor. First, we're gonna add onions.
I'm gonna lower it a little.
Lower it. Careful, because it's gonna sizzle away. Oh, the magic voice.
Ah, all right. I'm just gonna run and get a wooden spoon.
Yes.
So we've got our wooden spoon here, and we're going to
mix the onions.
We're going to take all that flavor bombs and we're going to put them over the onions.
Once the onions start softening up, we could add the peppers. I like to use red pepper sliced. If you want to have a shortcut, you can use the frozen sliced peppers also, but they come mixed colors, so it's pretty, but I prefer the flavor of the red peppers.
And you can skip the peppers if you don't like peppers.
That's right.
Okay.
But it does have an extra flavor, so I wouldn't. Now we could add the garlic.
Okay. Sorry, I always love to smell garlic.
If you would only invent smell-o-vision, you would love to scratch that screen.
Yeah, right? This looks fantastic.
Now we're going to add our spice, obviously, paprika. Otherwise it wouldn't be paprika chicken.
I brought back some paprika from Hungary.
100%. There and in Israel in the shuk, the two freshest paprika.
Yeah, delicious.
So in Hungary, they used to make like a special Pesach production, so we should have for Pesach also the same flavor. They used to make a special.
Okay.
So we add the paprika.
The whole thing.
And mix it. Now this is optional. If you like it hot and spicy, you can add cayenne pepper. Do you like hot and spicy, or we'll skip it for today?
A little bit.
A little bit, just for a kick. It's optional, so we're gonna eyeball it, because when you use on daily basis tomato paste, you can eyeball it. And now, the best part of it, in order to have a real juicy chicken, you wanna have some sauce. Some sauce was released from the onion and peppers, but not enough. So we're gonna add some stock. You can use your chicken soup. I always make a huge pot of chicken soup.
Yeah, me also.
And I mix just different size containers. You use those frozen the shapes.
The different shapes.
So I still didn't buy it, but it's a genius idea, because sometimes you just need a pop of flavor, and your chicken soup is the best for that.
You can actually freeze it. There's a company called Super Cubes.
Exactly.
And they have cubes, like an ice cube tray, but in different sizes.
Different sizes, exactly.
From 2 cups to 1 cup to a tiny amount.
Right, so sometimes you just need literally like a few tablespoons to boost the flavor of any dish.
And take it from really made, homemade...
The best.
Chicken soup.
The best. So here we're going to add...
starting to burn.
Yeah.
I'm going to lower the... Okay, go.
We're going to add the chicken soup. Or you can use stock. If you don't have chicken soup, there's nothing wrong using store-bought stock. Police won't come after you.
Yeah, but Manischewitz makes it in a little box.
Manischewitz's chicken stock is usually very concentrated, so even a little bit will get you a long way.
Okay, amazing.
Now that we have a very good, juicy mixture, we're going to place back our chicken. We cover it, and we cook it on low medium-low for about 40-45 minutes until it's fork tender.
So we'll see you in
this-
45 minutes. Let's
That's
go.
right.
Okay, time to make
The side dish, the real, I could say authentic Hungarian, but really if you research it, it's not the Hungarians, they just stole it from the Germans. It's called Spätzle in Germany, the original version of it. It's a very, very simple ingredient food. First we're gonna start by cracking our eggs and checking it.
kosher.
I'll do the next one. Whisk up the eggs. Super Speed Naomi is on the mission.
Okay.
Now we add, and look at that sizzle, what we get from the seltzer. That just shows how fluffy it's going to be. Can you see that delicious
The bubbles?
foam? The bubbles. Mix it. And it's a very simple, as I told you, Hungarian cooking is all simplicity, salt.
All that salt.
And the flour.
A little bit at a time.
A little bit at a time and mix it.
My mother always says, go slow, because you can always add, you can't take out.
Same thing with the salt. You can always add salt, you can never remove it. Even though people say potato removes it, it doesn't. Then we add more. Once it gets a little bit harder to mix, that's the good texture. Perfect. To mix around things always.
So this is like a thick pancake batter.
Exactly, a thick pancake batter. For best result, you put it into the fridge for 10 minutes. If you are in a hurry and you want to just eat that gnocchi right away, you could do for 2-3 minutes in the freezer for the same result.
We're going to do that now. Let's pop that in the freezer.
And meanwhile, while we do that, our water, a pot of water, is started to boil.
I'm going to the freezer.
Enjoy.
I'm back. Okay, what is the next step?
So basically, I just want to introduce you to a very handy tool that you can buy on Amazon as anything else. They come in all different shapes. My favorite one is this shape.
What's this called?
It's called, on Amazon they call it Spätzle Maker, but really...
Spätzle Maker. They actually call it Spätzle Maker.
Right. Why does it call Spätzle Maker? Because it has these tiny dots, and you put the batter over. That's why you can't make the batter too loose. If you would make the batter too loose, it would just literally just go through and you would have strings of mush. Because the batter is a little bit thicker than pancake batter, you put it on, it stays on surface until you scrape it. You have to scrape it. It does come in a different version that people like. It looks like a grater and you pull back and forth a piece. I find that it's very hard to clean it properly and it's not an easy dishwasher safe thing, which is a huge shortcut for us if we are blessed with a dishwasher. This goes into the dishwasher, comes out clean, and the best part about it is, you're gonna see it soon, it fits right on the top of the pot. It doesn't move, you don't have to hold on. It's one hand is free, the other one you just scrape. So it's a pleasure to work with.
And it drops straight into the water.
And you drop it straight to the boiling water, and then once they float up, you have these delicious gems.
When I went to culinary school, I did a pretty intense class about 10 years ago, a series of classes in the summer, and we had to make it with a grater.
Right.
Like the way you were
But
saying.
with the grater, I think that then it's a dough.
It was like a dough, and it was hard to make. It was
It's
not
very
easy.
hard.
I've never made it since. Should I go get the dough?
I think
Do
we
you
are
it's had
ready.
Enough time?
Let's do it. We're gonna give it one more whisk just to wake up those glutens a little bit.
Okay. Wakey, wakey.
Good morning,
It's a bit more like a
Nokadli.
dough now. So like a little, like a thick batter, almost a dough, right?
Exactly. You don't want it should be like a dough that's like a challah dough. That's too much. Now we have boiling water, and we're gonna have some salt to make it more flavorful. Even though our dough had a little bit salt, but there's always something a little bit to salt the water. Okay, so we take the batter, we put a little bit at a time. You don't want to make too much at a time because you want it should.
Oh, it's good.
You want it should float on the surface.
Okay.
And
We're gonna do the first
with
one.
the flat side, obviously, we start scraping, and it's hard to see because it's under. If we would have a camera in the pot, you would see that it's dropping.
Can we get a waterproof camera?
Exactly. Can we get a diver in here? And as you slow it,
Can I go?
100%.
Like this?
Now the reason we don't use the whole batter up at the same time, because once they start floating, which is very fast, in a matter of like less than a minute, it starts floating. You want to have only enough to cover the surface. If it's going to be basically more than the surface of the pot, then one will not, the other one won't cook the same way.
Yeah, they won't cook evenly.
Right, they won't cook evenly.
Okay, we want the dough to cook evenly.
Right, when you put it directly into the soup, that's fine.
Right, you don't overfill the pot, so they shouldn't.
And
so
now,
they should cook evenly.
if you want to have the sneak peek, which is the funnest part.
Okay, you ready, guys?
Magic. 3, 2, 1, and they are floating these tiny little gems. This is called Hungarian comfort food. They look very small, but every piece, it's like, you know when you bite into the gushers? That's better. No, I mean, this is better, not the gushers. Let me show you, when you don't have the tool, then we're gonna just go very free form. You take a little bit of the dough, you drop it in, you dip in the spoon so it releases, and you'll see in 2 seconds it's gonna start floating up.
Okay, I want to try that. Okay. I put in.
Yes, and you release it until it
I
releases.
release it in the water, then I remove my spoon.
And you'll see within 10-15 seconds, you can see the bubbles, it starts floating up. Now these, because they are bigger, obviously it's a little bit longer cooking time, but also within a minute
Up
or two.
it goes. See how it's going up?
It's
amazing.
Now this,
The
in a
next one's
good
going
hearty
up.
vegetable soup, it's the ultimate comfort food also. With a good green pea soup or any kind of soup, first of all, it thickens the soup a little bit because it has a flour base, and it just has a very, very good, it's a one bowl meal. You put this with a very good meaty mushroom, instead of mushroom barley, you can make mushroom and nokedli.
All right, I think we're ready to plate this thing up.
Ready?
I've got our nokedli.
That's right.
Am I saying?
Nokedli.
Nokedli.
It's basically...
Or spätzle.
Spätzle, but Hungarian we call it nokedli, so we stick to our version.
And I'm just going to call it heaven.
That's right.
Okay.
And a little bit of green.
Oh, that looks beautiful. Aki! Oh,
And there you go.
This is a beautiful plate of comfort food.
This is Sunday lunch in Hungary.
Really?
We eat fleischig by lunch. You also, Australia, right?
We eat fleischigs all the time.
All right.
Oh, okay, thank you so much, Aki, for coming on the show.
My pleasure. Enjoy.
We're going to go eat this now. For recipes and more like this, go to kosher.com.
Thank you for watching.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Newly Fed. Welcome to Newly Fed. Welcome back to Newly Fed. I'm Rifki Kleiman.
And I'm Rahama Jaffa.
And we're here to teach you all the basics to help you be comfortable in your own kitchen.
Today is my least favorite episode we will be learning how to make fish, all different kinds.
You know what? Hopefully by the end of today, you might be singing a different song.
I don't think so. I'm slightly holding my nose, but you know, we can give a crack at it.
Okay, well, let's give a crack on it.
All right.
Here we go. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to start off with salmon. I think salmon is probably one of the most popular pieces of fish. It presents beautifully. It's relatively light. So, are you ready to start working? Okay, let's get fishy. I'm getting corny from the get-go. So the first thing that we're going to do is, because we're working with a side of salmon, you can use it as fillet when they're sliced. You can use it, believe it or not, skinned.
I always think it's pretty
skinned.
this way. Like whenever I go to a shower or things, they always have this what are those nuts that you open? Pistachios. They always have pistachios all over it. Like
crusting. And she keeps telling
it's pretty.
me she's
It's
a
pretty.
novice. You are
It's pretty. I wouldn't eat it, but it's pretty.
I agree with you. So you are so right, Ruchama, that a side of salmon just presents so beautifully. So let's get cooking. The first thing we're going to do is I'm going to trim this up a little bit because we do have extras. All you need is a sharp knife to be able to achieve this. I'm literally just going to try to get this off, and actually I think I'm going to get my shears.
Ready?
Yeah.
Rifki, you always have these weird gadgets in your kitchen. What is this?
Well, that's actually not weird.
Yes,
this
it is.
Actually a kitchen shear. These are great if you want to trim your fresh herbs. That's what I love, that it's just so universal. You can do whatever
So just
you
cut
want
it right
with
off?
Absolutely. So I just trimmed it a little bit to make it look really, really nice. Now, the most important thing about salmon, and this is something
Does
that
it need a
really,
massage like kale?
That was actually really good. But you know what? It doesn't need the massage, but it does need tender loving care. It does need TLC. Oh, yeah. But what I like to do...
This is why you're the food and I'm the clothes.
So what we're gonna do is, we're gonna start off, anytime you're dealing with a piece of fish, do not run it underwater. You don't wanna get your piece of fish soggy. So you wanna start off by actually, do you see the liquid that's releasing?
Yeah.
Just from standing,
Yeah.
okay? Once we clean it, I'm gonna discard it. Because I keep telling you, and I hope it's not ad nauseum, that I love to layer my flavors, even if I'm going to put a different sauce, so to speak, or flavoring on top, I like to start off no matter what, whether it's just kosher salt and pepper. You can be that type of a gal and it'll be great. You know what? I like just plain old, any seasoning could work. I mean, it's gotta make sense. So you can do
Oh, I want to do it.
Oh, yes.
Hello,
You
that's
do
what
it.
I'm here for.
Absolutely.
So just shake, shake?
Yes, so now we're showing you that this can actually just be used as a light seasoning. There you go, okay?
Check me out, I'm a
Check
seasoned.
you out, you are a seasoned cook. By the way, there you go, excellent. Now, what I would like to just say is, before we put this down, I did actually spray the pan with Pam. I like to make sure that it's greased because this way, after you finish cooking, it'll be easier for you to release it and transfer it to a serving tray. So that being said, this can sit here while we prepare our sauce. I'm gonna actually grab a small bowl and we're going to actually make a honey mustard marinade that we're gonna put on top.
Cool.
And as it sits, it's going to actually just seep in. And
So what am I doing?
What we're gonna do is equal parts of honey and mustard.
Okay, so
you
two of
can
these?
eyeball it. And you can do this with any mustard of your choice.
One,
if your choice is spicy
two.
brown mustard, if your choice is regular yellow prepared mustard, or even like a country blend that has the mustard seeds inside, all of them will yield the same results. Let's do equal amounts.
Honey is my favorite. Like, I'm so tempted to lick the bowl right now, but we're
You
on
could go
camera,
for
so.
it. I won't tell anyone. Will you tell anyone?
Okay, I'm mixing my mustard and my honey, and
There
now
you
what
go.
am I doing?
And let's top it off with a little bit of lemon juice. You know how crazy I am about fresh lemons, so let's do it.
Alrighty.
I would say let's only do 1/2 of a lemon because we want to just keep our ratios proper and go for it.
Okay, watch
So
the
work out for the day.
backsplash. Oh boy.
You are, I hereby dub you, an official juicer. That was great.
Okay.
Okie dokie.
Now mix it?
Yeah. And once we mix it, if you're sensory, you might want to just dig in with your hands, or you can use a brush, or
And
you
just
can
put it
just
right
use
on?
the spoon, and let's spoon it on. A seasoned chef is always going to taste as they go. I'm just going to dip in and make sure that we have a good ratio. Perfection.
Yeah?
This is perfection.
Okay.
Here
So I'm
we
pouring
go.
it right on over?
So what I would do is I would spoon it.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be overly dressed. Just spoon it over, and we're going to smear and make sure that we get the entire. I'm going to take out the second one. I think that that's getting in the way. Let's try to keep
I'm not gonna
it
lie, it looks so good.
for the girl now.
But I
let's
really don't like
try
this.
not to get a lot on the side because that is actually going to end up baking and making it a little bit more difficult for us to remove it once we're done with the baking.
Got you, sorry. I'm a little
Don't be
messy.
sorry, you're doing great.
Messy in the kitchen with Rahama.
No, I like that. The truth is, I think all good chefs that can be judged by the messes they make.
Really?
Yeah, the cleanup always happens off camera. Just saying.
Lucky for me, Mikey loves to wash dishes.
Are you?
I promise you.
Where did you find this guy? Oh,
I don't
right.
know.
She went all the way to England, to the UK to find this fine fella.
I'm not even joking. Could you imagine? It's great because I love to
This
make
is
messes
perfect.
and
You
he
did
likes to
great.
clean it.
And we don't have to use the whole marinade. That's, you know what? Don't put it back in because we don't want to cross-contaminate. You can always use that and drizzle on top when
Gotcha.
we're done.
Okay.
But this was actually great. Let's just take a piece of paper towel and clean around the sides so it doesn't burn while it's baking.
Let me get that.
And you know what I'm thinking, Ruchama? Because of your request, and we know that you love it, I think we're gonna go in for a pistachio crusting.
No.
Yeah, what do you think? We have a oven preheating to 400. So I think we're gonna grab some pistachios, crush them, top it. What's great is you can actually do either a straight up pistachio topping, or we can do half and half with like seasoned breadcrumbs with the pistachios. And
It's gonna be
that
cool.
is like delicious. So we're gonna go in for that. All right, so we have our oven is preheated to 400. We have our side of salmon set and ready to go. I love to let it sit for about 10 minutes, but I actually had this like great idea as we were sitting and working. You told me that Mikey is gluten-free. You told me that you love pistachios.
Yeah.
Really, we could bake it as is. Just pop it in and let it go. But I had this awesome idea. I said, you know what, why not really make your husband happy? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do equal parts of pistachios and a gluten-free, check it out.
Pinko flakes.
What we don't do for our men. Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's measure out equal parts into a Ziploc bag. We're gonna
Alrighty, let me
smash
grab
it,
that
and
Ziploc.
then we're gonna top it, okay? Yep, oh, there you go.
Alrighty. Put this down over here.
You could do, I would
Actually,
say
you know what? You
probably-
hold it.
Yep,
And I'll
probably
measure
a
it.
quarter of a cup of each will be fine to cover this side.
So half of this.
Not a quarter. Yeah, whatever, it's fine. And if you have extras, you know, you can always put them in the freezer for the next time. There you go. It's my pleasure. Yeah. Come on, fresh.
Oh God, you put them in the freezer?
Absolutely.
What
Keeps
a
them fresh.
what a great tip. Okay.
Whenever you have your nuts and you don't want them to go rancid, freeze them.
Alrighty. Pinko crumbs, here we go.
Yep, pour it in. We're gonna do that, and I'll get rid of this in the meantime. Okay, you're good, you're good, you're good. There
That's
you
enough?
go. Yep.
Do I get to
Go.
smash it now?
Sweetheart, absolutely. If you thought I was not giving you that pleasure, there you go.
Oh, look at this
There
tool.
you go. This is
Only
cool.
people like Rifki Kleiman have such things in their kitchens. No, I think
Love
my
like
favorite
when you
gadget of
smash-
yours, honestly, is those onion goggles.
Oh, yes. Okay, I think that's gonna have to be part of the registry. I'm gonna make sure it goes into the VERT package. There you go.
Watch your fingers, please. Don't want to have any accidents. You know I'm prone to accidents.
Not at all. You're doing great.
Watch me get my own finger. Like,
No, no, no. Okay, perfect.
All right.
Let's go.
Right on top?
Yep, with clean hands. There we go.
Okay. Here we go. Pistachio pinko.
I love that. Just tell me.
Oh my God, I can't believe I'm making this because I always see it at showers and I'm like, whoa, fancy.
You like that?
It's pretty, like, you know, it's like it's a nice thing on the
Absolutely.
table, even if people don't eat it.
I do find that it goes really nicely.
Alrighty, we got our pistachio going. Oh,
This
gorgeous.
is perfect.
Are we
Let's
putting it in the
put
oven?
into the oven.
Check out my salmon, everybody, before it goes in.
It's
See
really
that?
nice.
You see that? People of the studio, people watching at home. Check out my salmon.
Look at that handiwork. Our sheet pan is in the oven. Our side of salmon is gonna go for 30 minutes. When we're working with salmon fillet, we're gonna make sure it goes on the sheet pan as well, but we wanna separate our pieces because
So they don't
if they're crowded, you're gonna end up with raw centers, which is really not very cool. So we make sure it's separated. Same 400, hit it for 17 minutes, all right?
You taught me about sticking a fork in to check if a potato is ready or not, like to know if the temperature is good. Is it the same thing with salmon? Do you stick a fork and then like it's ready?
You're such a Sharpie. Yes.
I'm a
That
Sharpie.
is a perfect way for you to check it out. If you put your fork in very gently and kind of move the layers away, you can look down and see. If it's completely pink, you'll see it's flaky, you're good. But obviously you don't want to mess up the beauty of your
Right,
slice,
you don't want
but
to
you
look-
just kind of move it, and then Hashem's wondrous ways, if you let it go back, you lift it out, it seals back together, and
Amazing.
perfection. We just took our salmon out. You did so well. let's check it out. And
It
let's
looks beautiful,
see.
I just have to say.
You know
And now I
what? That
see
was
what you were
your
saying
idea.
with the sauce on the outside, because I have a little bit of, like I left a little.
The
and it's
visual.
yeah. But I'm ready to dig in, are you?
Okay, absolutely. You are such a champ. First of all, do you see how beautiful our color is? And it went straight through, which is what we want. All right.
We're ready?
We're ready.
Dig
Let's
in.
go. Note the difference in the size of our portions. I'm going to enjoy the entire bite, just saying. Mmm.
Fantastic.
You don't have to give me the fantastic, okay?
I'm just not a fish lover, but it's really
But
good.
I have to tell you, did you
I taste the
how
pistachio.
fantastic
I taste how
our
soft
honey
the fish
mustard-
is.
And did you see how fantastic
Yeah.
our honey mustard was?
I really like the crusting.
And I'm telling you, the softness came from us allowing everything to come to room temperature and the flavors going through. Trust me, it would have been a fishier taste if we didn't do what we did.
Delicious.
So I'm proud of us.
Go us.
Absolutely. Hi everyone, and welcome to Newly Fed. Welcome to Newly Fed.
Alrighty, take 5,000.
Oh! Take 50 million.
Newly fed. Learn from me. Newly fed. Take. It's not 2. Okay. Newly fed. Take 2.
Welcome back to Newly Fed. I'm Rifki Kleiman.
And I'm Rahama Jaffa.
And we're going to help you be comfortable in the kitchen. Today's episode is actually going to be really resourceful, and I hope you're going to keep coming back to it and remember us fondly only when you're shopping in the store and really want to know what's for dinner or what we're going to make for Shabbos or Yom Tov.
What is this beautiful array of like tons of meat? Some I recognize, some I don't. Talk to me. What's going on here?
Well, good for you, girl, because I like that she's recognizing stuff off the bat. Should we play what Rahama knows before we actually
We should
get
totally
into
play
it?
a guessing game.
We should totally play a guessing game.
Okay.
Go for it.
Okay, that I think is a ribeye.
Very good. Now, it definitely is part of a rib steak, but if you look, it's thicker. It does have the bone. So because it's thicker, we're going to call it a cowboy steak.
Okay.
But you definitely got it. It is the king of the grill. It is our rib steak, fat cowboy steak. And you know what's interesting? Sometimes you can actually find it in the store with an elongated French bone called a tomahawk. Really, you're paying a lot more for the bone, but the presentation is just absolutely insane. The actual preparation will remain the same.
Okay, I don't know what this is.
So this actually, if you come in closely and you look, do you see how similar it looks in shape and in coloration to the
So is it
cowboy
just the meat
steak?
without the bone?
Very good.
So it's
this
a
is
cowboy
actually
steak kind of.
Good. So it's actually called a ribeye, and this is a boneless rib steak. But if you do look, the thickness would generally be what a rib steak would be. Okay?
Yes.
If we move on over here, once we're on it, being that these are so related, this actually is a standing rib roast. Do you see the same marbleization?
Yeah, I love this twine wire thing.
It is so awesome. This is beyond delicious. We have our bones on the bottom. Sometimes your butcher can separate it. Sometimes
Is it meant to be a sea fat here? Is it meant to be fatty or
Yeah,
thin?
yeah. The fat will actually burn off as you're baking it.
Probably
And
delicious tasting.
What we're gonna do with all of these pieces of meat, what we're gonna do is actually hit it with a high sear, okay? If you're doing your standard rib steak, there's no problem for you to just make sure that you crisscross it with your knife, okay? Both sides. Make sure that your meat is room temperature before you start working with it. All it needs, it is so delicious. Hit it with a little bit of kosher salt and pepper after you've put a little bit of olive oil, and really, that's all you need.
Basic, clean, easy.
When it comes to a cowboy steak. What I actually love to do, I know you're like wild about my chili lime rub, and of course if you don't have it, you can hit it with kosher salt and pepper or any particular rub that you like, but I like to actually hit it with olive oil. After that, chili lime. Sometimes if I really want to get funky, I'll even add a little bit of fresh crushed garlic, because garlic just makes everything better. A little bit of the smoked chipotle, but like a little bit adds a little bit more dimension, and I'll actually go for it. Sear top and bottom, but because it's that thick, you're never going to be able to cook it through properly on high heat. If you're grilling it, what you want to do is start off by getting a nice sear. I would say even 4 to 5 minutes on each side. Turn it over, hit the second side, and then you're going to either move it to indirect heat. That means that the heat is still going on the right, and you have either a lower flame or almost no heat on the side, where you'll let it continue until it reaches perfection, which would be 130. Very often I'll even take it off at 125, because standing meat will continue to cook and bring it to that 130. So it depends if you like a real medium rare or you like it to be a little bit more towards the medium side.
I like a little pink.
A little bit of pink,
Like
and you're going to take it off at 130, not at 125. Now, when you're doing your cowboy steak inside, I actually take out my grill pan, make sure that I heat up the grill pan before we do anything, just like with everything else that we've done. Once it's hot enough, hit it with a little bit of olive oil with your Evo sprayer, and then you're going to put it on, let it go for the same 4 or 5 minutes per side. My oven is always preheated to 325, and I let it go in for about, I would say, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and then I check it, all right? Some people love to do the low and slow, and that works great. You can have your oven preheated to 200, and then it can continue for about 2 hours. To me, I like to get it over with and get it done, but both, you will yield the exact same results with both of that. Just remember, Wakama, do not reheat it. Make sure you take it out and bring it to room temperature. Got it. Moving on to our standing rib roast, which really is like the king of the meats. So what you're gonna do is, just like you needed to hit this with a high heat, you're gonna need to hit this with a high heat as well. Bring it to room temperature, cover it with your favorite rub. You're going to, definitely you can massage it a little bit if you want. If you want to throw on a little bit of the garlic, it's great. At that point, what I like to do is I like to have my oven, instead of making a frying pan dirty, instead of searing it on a pan, I actually have my oven preheating to 450. I like to put it in my 9x13, blast it on 450 for about 15 minutes, and then I reduce the heat to 325.
So can you cook this on a grill?
Absolutely. It is more difficult, so honestly, it's not something that I would advise a beginner.
Right.
And I gotta be honest, it comes out so perfect in the oven. It's great in a smoker. That
Cool.
it really is. It's probably...
Newly Fed's getting fancy.
Absolutely.
We're buying smokers, add to
tell
the
you-
registry.
Yeah, there you go. If you're going to do it on the grill, you definitely are going to have to play with elevating, going from the top to the bottom, working with direct heat and indirect heat, and definitely constantly checking it with your meat thermometer. I'm going to introduce you to a meat thermometer soon. This could become your new best friend, a meat thermometer.
Huh?
Huh?
You think you put it in your mouth?
No, but wait, well, just like when you're taking your temperature
Thermometer.
in your mouth, we're going to do the same thing with meat. There's one more thing. Your butcher might decide to actually separate different parts of your standing rib roast, where he might actually decide to cut away the fat flap and leave just the center. That is commonly found as your kosher filet mignon or your Chateaubriand. If you notice, there's really not a lot of marbleization, and when you're cooking that, it's very important to cook it medium rare. Like if you're somebody who likes your meat brown, really it's going to be dry. Okay, there's not a lot of marbleization there. You're losing all the fat that's going to give you the moisture within your meat. Okay, if your butcher decides, and there's only one per rib, okay, if your butcher decides to cut the top part of this fatty flat, you end up with this magnificent piece of meat.
Which I think is a surprise steak. Am I right?
And you are so right. The surprise steak is, honestly, it's just the best. You want to really surprise somebody, you really want to make somebody feel good, you give them
Specialty.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, the surprise steak is so delicious on its own, it needs absolutely nothing. And I really mean it. I very often like to play with flavors. When it comes to my surprise steak, all you need is kosher salt and pepper. You need to make sure to score your piece of meat, just like we discussed, scoring your, I forgot to tell you that when I told you to crisscross is called scoring. But when you score your meats, you're gonna hit it with a little bit of olive oil, kosher salt and pepper. That is it. You can either grill it on your grill. We're talking about 4 or 5 minutes per side. That is it. Let it sit. Oh, it is the best. I'm like, seriously. And I have to be honest, like in my family, I have no choice. I baby my meats. Like legit, I baby my meats. I stand there with my thermometer, and as it comes out, I check, and we don't want to mess it up, especially the price, because there's only one. Okay? It's not like you have several rib steaks, which will make up your standing rib roast. There's only one. So your surprise steak is going to get cooked medium rare, and the time will depend on the thickness of your piece of meat.
Awesome.
Now we're going to move on to a different part.
What is this?
This over here, I still think, although it gets prepared differently, these are still really king cuts. They really are. They are so delicious. It's a different part of the rib. All of these are going to be attached to a bone, and it's going to actually
probably adds a lot of flavor to the bone.
Absolutely. You see, you're such a Sharpie. I keep telling you that. Right over here, we have a short rib, and the short rib is really kind of similar to flanken. It's got a lot of connective tissue, as well as here, just cut differently, same cut, we have a flanken roast, okay? You actually see your bones on the bottom, which again, like you said, are gonna add so much moisture and flavor, because we know that bones have so much flavor. All of that connective tissue, and look at all this marbling. But because it is that marbled, and from the area that it comes from, we're gonna prepare it very differently than these meats, okay? These are gonna be best when they're cooked low and slow, okay? These we're gonna hit with a sear as well. I want you to know, I used to always start off by searing my short ribs in the frying pan and then popping it into my preheated oven.
Wow. It's a lot of steps.
It's so many steps, and you gotta clean a pot and a pan. I was like, you know what? I tried it out and it works. I use the same trick. Preheat my oven to 450. I make sure I get it in, get a really good hit with that steam, with the heat, and what it does is it starts to seal in the juices internally. So that really is fantastic as it's cooking, because we sealed the juices in. You're going to end up with a fall off your bone,
like soft, you're saying?
Like legit. That's what we're doing when we do it.
These also?
Absolutely. Both of them are going to be cooked similarly. Okay, I like to, like I said, start it off with the 450, the sear, and after that I like to add on whatever dressing I want to put on top of it.
Right.
At that point,
I feel like this would be good with like onions and wine.
Oh my gosh.
Something.
She is fantastic. Onions and red wine glaze is phenomenal. You can do a barbecue glaze. You can do any which glaze. Whatever flavors you like, the beauty.
You know I'm going to FaceTime you after this and be like, what do I do?
I am waiting for those phone calls. I really mean it. So the difference will only be that your ribs are going to need 2.5 hours, and your flanken is going to need more like about 3.5.
Well, it's a bigger piece and it's whole.
Exactly. And you can test for fork tender. A little trick that I think is very important, before you cover it with silver foil and let it go really tightly, I would actually put a piece of parchment paper, because this, whether it's your dressing, your sauce, the spices, will eat away at the silver foil, and you don't want to get those little
wow, that's a cool trick. I never even
done
seen that.
So just hit it with a piece of parchment paper.
That's
and
oven
then-
safe?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So just to quickly put it together, we're going to put these into a pan. We're going to put it in the preheated oven to 450. High heat, 15 to 20 minutes. We're then going to take it out, dress it with whatever we're dressing it with, covering it with parchment, sealing it really tightly with the silver foil, reducing the temperature to 325 or 350. I do find that when it's a flanken roast, very often you do need the 350. But either way is fine. Like, you just might have to do your fork test, and you want it to fall off the bone, and that's how you know that it's ready.
Right.
Okay?
I feel like a lot with you in the kitchen is kind of like, as much as like knowledge that you know, it's a lot of also like winging it and like self-picking up things. Like, it's kind of like just, you gotta figure it out. Like, just if it looks right, try it with a fork, figure it out.
We're gonna move over now to the skirt steak.
My dad loves skirt steak because it's like a little salty.
Absolutely. I love the way our bride that knew nothing knows so much.
I know you told me with the fish never to put it in water because it's not good, but sometimes I see that my father will let this soak in water.
So that
Why?
was actually fantastic. The skirt steak and the hanger steak are both very, very salty cuts. What we do need to do and must happen is it does need to sit in water for 10 minutes and remove some of the saltiness. What's great about it, it is so receptive to whatever flavors you're gonna do. Trust me, you wanna do kosher salt and pepper? That's great, it'll be delicious. You wanna bump it up? Throw it in a great marinade. Take any of your favorite rubs, add a little bit of olive oil. Is it good plain? Yeah. Absolutely, you could do kosher salt and pepper. Absolutely, this is a really flavorful piece of meat because of that extra salt. You're not gonna taste it and it's gonna be like, bland.
Right.
You're not going to find that. So this and the hanger steak both need to be soaked, and after that you're going to continue. But you do want to dry it well before you continue by either adding the salt and pepper or putting it into a marinade. Skirt steaks are great on the grill, like really great on the grill. It's probably one of the best things that I would say
good for a
it's
barbecue.
better. Absolutely. And I would say you probably need about 2 minutes per side. Again, for the people who love medium rare, you're going to do that. For those of you who like it to be a little bit more well done, by all means, do it to your liking.
After 11 long years, the body of Lieutenant Hadar Golding has finally come home as chilling new testimony emerges from hostages and horrific sexual abuse. With Hamas refusing to disarm and these revelations shaking the nation to its core, is Israel on the brink of a final decisive confrontation? And in New York, a shocking leaked video reveals who's funding newly elected anti-Israel Mayor Mandani, God help us. We're unpacking it all right here on The Quad. Welcome back, everybody, to The Quad, and here in our Jerusalem studios with my wonderful co-hosts, Emily Schrader, human rights activist and journalist, Shoshana Keats-Jaskell, founder of Chochmat Nashim, Elevating Orthodox Women's Voices, and a special guest co-host all the way from London, Stephen Phillips. You may know him as Lord Stephen Phillips from X, but he is the executive director of Jewish ERGs, and he's going to explain to us what that is a little later. Welcome back, and we have a show for you. Hadar Golding's remains come back to Israel after 11 years, after an incessant campaign by his family and, of course, Hamas as ever trying to do tricks in the last minute not to return the body. And on top of all of that, we have these harrowing tales of sexual abuse coming from one of the captives who came back. Look at this.
הפשיטו אותי מכל הבגדים, תחתונים, הכל. קשרו אותי אלימות מינית, וזה בעיקר המטרה שלה להשפיל. המטרה שלו הייתה להשפיל אותי, לדרוך לי את הכבוד, וזה בול מה שהוא עשה.
עשו עוד דברים עשו את זה?
כן. וזה קשה, זה היה הדבר הנוראי. זה משהו שהנאצים לא עשו אותו.
But as Hamas is refusing to disarm, are we looking into another showdown? We're seeing what's going on in Lebanon. They're rearming. They're moving south. Are we going to see a second round of this whole entire war? Again, Emily, what do you have to say?
Yes.
Again?
Yes.
Oh,
I do think we will see another round. And
of everything?
Well, yeah, because I mean, we already know that from like literally within days of the Iran-Israel conflict ending in June, they were trying to build up a new proxy in Sudan. They have just in the past year, despite all of the sanctions, despite all of the obstacles that the regime is facing in Iran, they've sent over $1 billion worth to Hezbollah to rebuild in Lebanon. So of course it's going to happen.
Meanwhile,
you have Hamas that hasn't been completely obliterated, another proxy of the regime. It's not going to go until the regime goes.
Sending $1 billion with a country which is starving and thirsty. And this is what we have in Iran. Lebanon, the Lebanese army haven't managed to control the Hezbollah forces. They had a golden opportunity. And what's going to happen with Syria, God knows, because Al-Jarrah, or whatever his name is, Jolani, is playing basketball in the White House. Shoshana.
I don't even know what to say. I feel like I don't. Emily usually is very on point with these things, so I'm a little bit sad to hear her say yes, because I'm like, no, like I just got the mamad cleaned out. Like I just got used to not hearing sirens and not worrying about where my kids were and not thinking about all the chayalim. Like it's almost like it's too good to be true that they're all going to come home and bury, and the ones who are still not home. And round two, this is round 67, 30 million. Like, I don't know. How do you get rid of Hezbollah when they don't want to be gotten rid of? How do you get rid of Iran when they don't want to be gotten rid of? I don't have an answer. I don't know.
Well, unless you assist the people in overthrowing the Islamic Republic of Iran, as they have been begging for 40
what does that look like? Honestly, what does that look like?
It looks like investing in infrastructure that can supply internet to them in the times of protest. It looks like, if possible, arming them. It looks like supporting opposition groups in order to have a united opposition. It looks like full enforcement of sanctions and holding regimes like Russia and China accountable for sanction evasion. I mean, their oil exports are the highest that they've been since 2015 in the last year. How do you explain that? At a time when there's unprecedented sanctions?
Didn't we just, exactly, they just put the sanctions back on them.
So but no one is enforcing those who are helping them evade, like China and like Russia.
And ultimately, they're the head of the snake, and all of the exported terrorism is coming from them. But I think the difference is now, at least with Gaza, that we're on that yellow line, which is 53% of the strip, and we're not moving. And these people are not rearming. And so if it only means that we've enclosed the terrorists a little bit more, and they now have to worry about how they manage their own people, which is going to be a big challenge for them, not us, maybe that's a little bit of a victory. Stephen, welcome.
I think the saddest thing for me, and thank you for having me, what a badass collection of people to be sat next to. The saddest thing for me is to hear me say, yes, because this is my 4th trip to Israel since the war started. I was here on October 7th. There's a whole collection of things that happened. And this is the first time it feels like the cloud has just shuffled and shifted away a little bit. I landed, you haven't got so many faces, it's just a few. And everything feels a little bit more whatever normal is in this country. I'm not sure what normal is here. But it does feel a bit post. So to hear Emily kind of, yes, is like, oi, I don't think we can do it as well. How many chocolate bars can we send you? Like, really, it's enough.
I think that we're just realistic, and ultimately you're dealing with a mentality that doesn't believe in peace, they just believe in hudna, which is the peace between the wars, which is basically what Israel has gotten used to, our whole entire modern state existence here, the peace between the wars, and that's how we incredibly thrive as an economy. By the way, people don't talk about this, and they want to be doom and gloom about Israel's economy. The Israeli shekel is the strongest it's been, and a war hasn't knocked it down. Now, why is that? People are asking, why is that? Because very quietly, there's so much investment. There's so many AI data centers being done quietly. NVIDIA has invested so much money here. The concentration of AI talent in the world is here. And so, you can hate us all you want, but ultimately, we hold here a lot of that database intelligence that is going to be running the world. And people don't seem to understand that when you want to boycott us, you're in fact boycotting yourselves, which brings me to Mandani. My God, I was in New York last week.
Lovely.
And I started the day I met with some Jewish friends of mine who'd been very involved in the Cuomo campaign. And at the beginning of the day, everybody was a little positive that maybe, like Trump, the polls got it wrong and people didn't want to admit they were voting for Cuomo. And then as the day progressed, it got increasingly...
It wasn't a landslide, but because there was the additional... Because they had so it was...
Yeah, but
even if he had been in there, he would have lost by 32,000 votes.
It still would have lost. I blame the Jews for Mandani, to be honest, but that's a whole other thing. But guess...
I mean, there aren't that many Jews in New
Cuomo
York.
was not a good candidate.
He was never...
Well, for sure. You could blame the Democrats.
When you have a person who is, an alleged sex predator, like, that's not exactly a great candidate to run.
He's right.
No.
It's true.
It wasn't...
Through back choices, no one wins.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, New York definitely lost, and the Social Democrats of America have got their little laundry list of what they want Mandani to do.
They're just going forward with their plan.
But everything, there's not one thing that hasn't got something to do with boycotting Israel.
Yeah.
Not one thing. Not the free buses. I mean, these are the Social Democrats of America. So nothing to do with socialism, only to do with Jew hatred, because that was their agenda all along. And guess who admitted was helping Mandani all along? The very biggest scumbag that we've had many, many times, but we're not going to dedicate too much time to her, Linda Sarsour.
And Care.
And Care.
Right now, I'm a little more quiet because I'm on the quiet side of this race, but I'm going to tell you that once November 4th comes around, I will tell the story. The story is not just, that it's random that Zahran ascended to this place. It is our Muslim American communities. And I'll also say that it's Muslim money. The PACs that have supported Zahran, or a particular PAC that has supported Zahran, is probably over 80% of Muslim American donors in this country. High net donors, grassroots donors. And I want to make the point that the Unity and Justice Fund PAC, which is the CARE Super PAC, was the largest institutional donor to the pro-Zahran PAC in New York.
So basically, Mandani, as I think Bellamy said last week, is the perfect, he's the baby of wokeism and Islamism. They would have had a baby. That's Mandani. And that's what we have. What's going on in London with you, Mayor?
It's great. We love it. Really wonderful. I recommend it. It's really funny to me. I've spent a lot of time in New York as well this year. And New York is always crazy, right? But as the election got closer, I was there just before Rosh Hashanah, and it felt crazier than it had ever been. It was like they were preparing for the next round of crazy. But I think they fancy us. They're so obsessed with us. I can't think of any other reason why. They just won't leave us alone. Like, what are they with the Jews? They don't want to be us? What is this? It's crazy.
I really
what's
don't.
crazy is that's happening on the right and the left right now. Like, everyone is obsessed with us. Either they love us or they hate us, but there's nothing else in the universe. Apparently, there are no other issues in America other than Israel.
Or Sudan or Nigeria.
It's the only thing going on, and that's really a very scary thing. The other day I went to the cinema. I never go to the cinema anymore. But I went to the cinema to watch a really good film that I recommend that everybody watch called Nuremberg. So it was all about how...
Sounds uplifting.
No, but
nice light film you watched.
Yeah, very light, rom-com. But it was... it's very relevant to today, because it was basically all about how they got to the idea of trying the Nazis, under what jurisdiction, and how this could be an international. Now, in Israel, there's a debate. How do we try the Nukhba terrorists? Right. How do we do it? What is the mechanism that we do? Do we actually put them to death? Which I think everybody around the table agrees that we should.
All about yeses today.
Is there going to be a war? Yes. Should we try the Nukhba terrorists and hang them? Yes. And should Israel be stopping Lebanon, or the Hezbollah in Lebanon, in its tracks? We've gone back to basically trying to bomb them, to go back to their lines. And of course, the world is accusing us of breaking the ceasefire, even though they broke the ceasefire by rearming. And so where is this all going to end?
Ceasefire, they're breaking international law. They're breaking 2 different UN resolutions.
They're breaking the one of moving?
No, one in 1559.
Oh, I'm surprised.
It was just disarmament. Yeah, shocking.
Yes. And the international troops that were placed there, I mean, they were completely useless, UNIFIL.
Yeah.
They don't have a UNIFIL now. I don't know who's monitoring whatever ceasefire it is. But it's almost like the world wills it to be a ceasefire. We also want a ceasefire. But the reality of the situation is that these jihadists have momentum. And the reason why they have momentum is because of Mandani and the fact that the world is going along with this craziness. Where will it end?
I'm going to disagree with you a little bit. I don't think we want a ceasefire. We want peace. We happen to accept a ceasefire because it gives us some quiet.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's the hard truth. They don't want either, really.
They don't want either.
They just want, like you said before, the peace, the peace between the pieces.
Yes. The peace between the wars.
Yeah.
But
It's really
Lebanon's-
kind of depressing.
Lebanon's government actually, I think, for a long time did not say anything when we were taking out terrorists, because they really do want, I think, they don't want Hezbollah, they want them out, but they really just seem incapable of joining that officially because of all of the pressure around them and all of the...
Well, somebody explained it to me and they said maybe they just don't know how. They've been so many years. They've had this state within a state. They've had Hezbollah literally here, that they don't know how.
I don't know.
And remember, Hezbollah is very integrated in the government. It's exactly. I mean, they've held this entire country hostage. And I want to clarify again for anyone watching that when we say Hezbollah, we mean the Islamic Republic of Iran.
Yeah.
That's who's occupying Lebanon. And that's who's behind it. That's who's funding it.
Yes.
And that's been their mission from day one with the establishment of Hezbollah in Lebanon. So it's a disaster for Lebanon.
It's a disaster for Lebanon. And unfortunately, they're on our border. And we have wonderful people in the north of Israel trying to rebuild these communities. In a new light, with vision, to try and really resuscitate, but also make the North thrive. We have the same down south. I mean, this can be an opportunity for Israel, but if we still have these people and these threats, what are we going to do?
They've gone home. I've got friends that live on the border. They were away for like a year and a half.
Yes, they were not
living in these crazy conditions with parents and all sorts. All the kids
in hotels.
In hotels. All my friends were in their parents on the kibbutz. It was like 1,000 people in one tiny house.
Yes.
They want to go back, but they can't go back if someone's literally like peeping over the border at them, going to fire at them. It's crazy.
This is the problem. This is my criticism of the Israeli government for many years, of both in Gaza and in Lebanon and elsewhere, that like we're mowing the grass. And it doesn't, it's just over and over and over again, 2008, 2012, 2014, 2021, and also now. Like okay, yeah, you have a few years of calm, you have a few years of peace where these societies can advance or, these communities can rebuild in some cases. And that's great. It's better than a constant state of war. But at the same time, like if you're going to have to fight a war, then just finish the job. Like, why does our government never finish the job?
Well,
and I know now there was political considerations with the relationship with the United States, but they could have done it before. Why didn't Netanyahu deal with this before any of the other times?
But isn't there a vacuum? Like, let's say, okay, so you get rid of Hamas. Who comes in next?
Don't get rid of Hamas. Get rid of the head of the snake.
Well, I'm with you on Iran, by the way. The sadness for me was that we finished the war with Iran when we did, and we didn't go all the way and kill Khamenei. And the reason we didn't was because the Americans didn't want us to go all the way. And the reason the Americans didn't want us to go all the way is because their own flank of the Republican Party, the isolationist flank, who think somehow they're there to do us a favor rather than the fact that, we're doing them a favor, stopped us. And that's, to me, I was very sad for the Iranian people that we didn't help them. But again, who comes in there? Who comes in place?
Right.
Well, inside of Iran, I mean, I think that you could do a whole episode on only this. There's a lot of different opinions. In terms of a single figure, yeah, he's the most popular. But even that, I don't know that he has a majority of people, or we don't know that he has a majority of people inside of Iran. But there is an entire transition plan that he has put forward, not to rule, but to oversee an interim period in order to have a referendum. So there is a lot of planning that's going into that, and they're trying to work with the U.S. government as well as other European governments, and they've made some progress. But the thing that's standing in the way is the West. That is they don't need them to start a war and overthrow the regime. They need them to stop propping up the Islamic Republic, which they continue to do, whether it's through non-enforcement or other deals that they're making. And we've seen it happen time and time again. And it's going to keep happening. And one more thing I want to mention that's really important to understand is that the Houthis stated yesterday that they would start bombing Israel again if they see that the Gaza ceasefire is not holding. We've kind of like mocked the Houthis and made fun of their, ballistic missiles that are being fired here and there. And of course, they're dancing.
We don't take them seriously.
We need more dancing. I would want dancing.
Yeah.
We really are. I haven't seen a video.
dancing and not the.
They haven't had a dancing video in a long time. Like, we need another dancing video for our,
Sanity.
sanity. I love the thought of they sit around the camp. Like, which department do you want to be in? I want to fire missiles. I want to be the dancing troupe.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And they go onto the boats with the Israeli flag. Yeah.
Insane.
Looks like a party. But in any case, we know that Iran is pouring whatever resources they have, or I should say the Islamic regime is pouring whatever resources they have into the Houthis and these proxies, and they're going to build them up. Why? Because even with all of our bombing campaigns and the United States of America bombing Yemen, we didn't do anything effectively. We didn't really do anything in terms of actions.
I heard,
no, nothing matters but us.
That they're starving. They've got no water, and in 2 months, they're going to run out of money and have to move the capital, Tehran.
Yeah.
You're in a situation where you're moving your capital and you think you won and you're still exporting terrorism and $1 billion? Isn't this, like, honestly not sustainable? I don't understand how they're still being...
The whole movement's suicidal. They're not looking for sustainability. They're suicidal. They're suicidal like on the individual level. They're suicidal on the national level. Of course it makes no sense to us. We're just like build, create, fix. And they're just like ruin, destroy, kill. But that's what they do. So yes, it's not sustainable and they will not ever change. And so my question in the end is like, Emily, I hear you. I agree with you. We have to finish it. We have to get the world to stop propping them up. But like,
how?
Like this is like a runaway train that has no brakes. There's no brakes. There's no emergency brake. They're not even on a track anymore. They're just whatever they can destroy, they're going to destroy. So what do you do?
Unlike Afghanistan, unlike Iraq, Iran has a different history and the people want something different. And this is a huge population that has already showed that they're capable of running a country much more properly than what is happening now. So we need to have a united front against the Islamic Republic. That includes cutting off diplomatic relations. What is Europe doing? Yeah. What are they doing? Why are they still even allowing embassies?
No strategy.
There's no strategy for regime change. Yeah. That's the problem. Yeah. They kind of, like you said, they just want to manage them rather than actually get rid of them, which we should be doing for their own people. Forget us, forget the world. I mean, they are the unstable force of the world, but their own people are miserable, starving and thirsty.
And their own people want a revolution, not reform. After the Green Revolution, I think pretty much everybody ruled that out. And they saw that the Islamic Republic itself, and even if you look at the structure of the regime, everything goes back to the Ayatollah. Everything goes back to the principle of Islamic jurisprudence, it's called in English. Everything is the entire structure is built like this. Yes. There is no reforming that. No. There's no reforming that. The only option is bringing down the regime.
Absolutely. There's no reform. The reformists are fake. I mean, their children are having a whale of a time in Europe and America, but everybody else is miserable in that country. And so here we are, ladies and gentlemen, in the Middle East. We believed that we destroyed the Ring of Fire, which was the architects were Iran. We have enemies of Hamas in the south that now looks like have been seriously weakened. At least we have a buffer zone, but they're not gone. 150 of them are stuck in a tunnel, which, by the way, they wanted to use to negotiate for the body of Hadal Golding until actually even Turkey had to get involved and say, no.
Yes, but now Turkey said they're civilians, that there's 150 to 200 civilians in the tunnel.
Civilians strapped in explosives in the tunnel, yes, they're civilians. At least we know that they've stored away enough food to feed themselves. And I'm very, very pleased that Israel is standing strong with either surrender or die. Yep. And really, we cannot let these people go.
Agreed.
And, you know, I keep hearing that the Americans want us to use this as a model for providing immunity so that Hamas can go and leave. And this is going to be like the little pilot project. No. Terrorists who are stuck in a tunnel, who tortured our hostages, who killed our soldiers, are not going to get a free pass to a 5-star hotel in Egypt. Because you're asking us to. And that is something that, honestly, I would go on the streets protest against. Absolutely. And I think that there's consensus in this country. And so here it is, another week in wonderful sunny Israel that you chose to fly into. At least the flights are back. The flights are back, ladies and gentlemen. Really?
Yeah, I had 3 seats to myself.
Oh my!
I don't know what El Al are doing, but they had a new 777.
They're being forced to compete.
No, I
for
know.
what-
They're forced to compete again. It's
Sure, because the others are back.
They put a new flight in, which with the others back, I don't really understand, but had 3 seats to myself. I was in poor person business class when you stretch out across 3 seats.
Oh.
And that's the only reason really I'm here. It cost me like nothing to come.
Oh, that's good to know.
Why be sad in London when you can be in the
Well, that's exactly. Despite all of that,
that's our
you walk down the majority of the streets in Tel Aviv, all the shuk in Jerusalem, and you're still having a whale of a good time here in Israel. All right. Well, now we have so many scumbags to talk about. We go on to our favorite segment, Scumbag of the Week. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Scumbag of the Week. I have to say, I get stopped down the street regularly, Scumbag of the Week. And people come up to me and volunteer scumbags all the time. I enjoy it all. And here we are back with the Scumbag of the Week. Shoshana.
My scumbags of the week. I was actually in Paris 2 weeks ago. When I wasn't here, I was in Paris and then London. And so it was really shocking a little bit, even more so, to see this video. My scumbags of the week are the people who set flares inside the performance of the Israeli Philharmonic in Paris. Watch this. It's terrifying. Like, you don't know what you're looking at, and there's like fire in a there's fire, flames shooting in Paris, and you know, obviously you can be anywhere at any time, but like it was a little bit close that I was not that close to me, but close to the people who were there. I've loved Paris. I had a great time, even though I was doing some difficult work, and they are my scumbags for being just complete buttholes. Sorry, I can't say it. Scumbags of the week. That's
and you have scumbag.
I know, but I want to think there's so many other words.
Oh, yes.
But the Philharmonic responded by playing Hatikva, which is like so Israeli, and their audience stood up, and it was just like, oh, they did flares in the middle of the performance. Okay, now we're doing Hatikva. Everyone's going to stand up. The Israelis, the Jews were just like, this is just another Tuesday. So you're my scumbags of the week, and that's probably the biggest thing you'll ever do in your lives.
You know, it's amazing how these scumbags are basically ruining every cultural experience.
Yes.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
And I've got a feeling that people are getting a bit fed up about it. I mean, I hope.
I hope so.
I mean, I'm fed up of watching it already. People are just, regular people.
What's that chant that they do in Britain?
Oh, we're going to talk about that in a second.
How do you say it in French?
Ooh, let me think about that. Okay. Stephen, your first ever, I mean, on the show.
On the show.
Yeah.
I've had many scumbags in my life,
course
so
you
yeah,
have.
me. And I know Emily was there, so this is going to be a fun one. But I particularly want my scumbag this week to be Chief Constable Craig Guilford of the West Midlands Police. And the reason for him is I'm a football fan. People don't often think that about me, but I'm a diehard Leyton Orient supporter, which I should have got help for years ago.
Leyton
Orient.
Leyton Orient.
What?
I know, Judge. No one's heard of them around here, so it's fine.
No.
But Craig Guilford, my dad, generational trauma, Jews, basically. I look after their Jewish supporters club as well, which is a new thing we started because I don't do enough Jewish groups in the day. I do them at night as well.
Enough for the Jewish people.
No, I really am. No Jews here. But Chief Constable decided on Wednesday before the match to put a statement out about how it was related to the hooliganism. That was the reason that they weren't.
The hooliganism of
the Maccabi Tel Aviv fans was the reason they weren't allowing them there.
Yeah.
Now, I've read the reports from Amsterdam, which is what this was based on, and it wasn't about the Jews. It was about the Jews being beaten up and being in hospital. And then I watched what happened because I was here. I would have been there with the other amazing people that went and counter-protested like Emily, but I was in the sun. It's difficult decisions. And I looked at what happened. There was 10 arrests. One was a firework thrown into the ground. 2 were racially aggravated hate towards the Jews. And one was someone not taking their mask off. Now, I've been with people like Emily protesting, we don't wear masks, so we know what was going on there. And then also outside were people saying things like, we should not have mercy on the Maccabi fans who are IDF killers. So really, Mr. Chief Inspector, who's also currently being investigated for allegations of discrimination.
Ah, there you go. For who? Discriminating on who?
Racism and homophobia.
Oh, okay.
So really, was it the Jews? I don't think so. So you, sir, are my scumbag this week.
Absolutely. The minute I saw that video, I thought, what BS? This guy's now justifying retroactively a decision about hooliganism that never happened.
It got overturned. Maccabi Tel Aviv were offered tickets and said, actually,
no, we don't want, because you can't protect us.
Right.
And they were right.
Wow.
Emily, that brings us to your scumbags.
Yes, so my scumbags were the protesters at the Aston Villa Maccabi Tel Aviv game. Now, just so everyone understands the context, who maybe doesn't follow all of English football.
First of all, I'm very impressed you said football and not soccer.
Correct.
So well done, Emily.
I always say that. It's a habit, I guess, now. But yeah, so they did. They actually banned all fans of Maccabi Tel Aviv under the false premise that, you know, there was too much hooliganism, which is highly ironic when you look at some of the racist and sexist and homophobic and pro-violence chants that we hear from pretty much every football club in the UK, and not just in the UK, in the whole world. Like, if you look at what they're actually chanting in, like, South America, as I'm sure you know, it's craziness.
The whole thing's
craziness.
crazy.
I mean, Israel's got nothing on some of the stuff that's going on, so it's ridiculous.
We
but
invented it. And we invented the things that come.
you're the OGs.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I did end up getting tickets to this game as an Aston Villa fan, not for Maccabi Tel Aviv. That section was completely empty in the stadium.
They closed the entire section?
Yeah, it was empty.
That's ridiculous.
The pictures, they're crazy.
Yeah.
Like half the ground is just nothing.
Yeah.
So you had to get a ticket as an Aston Villa fan?
Yeah.
And then what happened?
And I cheered for Aston Villa, and I'll tell you why. Because the club was against this ban.
Yeah.
Their fans were against this ban. And the fans who were actually in the stadium were extremely supportive. They were even supportive of Maccabi Tel Aviv. Of course, they weren't cheering for them, but they were respectful. You know, overall, it was a very good environment, which is not, you know, necessarily obvious at a football game. And so I really appreciate how the fans spoke out against it from the very beginning. And the reason that the protesters who are outside are my scumbags are because they're not even fans of Aston Villa.
No.
They held this big protest with thousands of anti-Israel protesters chanting about Palestine, waving flags of the Islamic Republic. Almost all of them at some point or another had their faces covered, which of course is against the law in the UK. Police, in the majority of cases that I saw, did absolutely nothing. When there was a counter-protest of pro-Israel voices who were marched through with police escorts on every corner to protect them from these Islamist mobs, they brought them into the basketball court, which was fully caged. Yes, caged in, which is why there were people talking about how it was a Jew cage. It was a really, really disgusting thing to see just visually outside of the stadium. However, I myself wasn't involved in that protest because I was going actually to the game. Inside the game is where I, at one point, was actually pulled out of my seat along with the other 3 people that were with me because I had the audacity to wear a shirt that said Zioness on it. And despite the fact that I was wearing a sweater the entire game because it was cold, I took a picture with that shirt during halftime, which prompted someone, I wonder what leanings ideologically they have, reported to the stadium that there was a Maccabi Tel Aviv fan. There was a Maccabi Tel Aviv fan. Accused me of wearing a football shirt of Maccabi Tel Aviv, which of course I wasn't. It wasn't even the same colors. Mentioned nothing about that. It was blue and white, not even Maccabi blue, saying Zioness. Yes. So they pulled me out in the presence of dozens, literally dozens of police and stewards from the stadium to interrogate me about what my shirt was and, you know, if it was indeed a Israeli football club, which of course would be the end of the world. It wasn't, and once it was determined what Zioness means, they permitted me to go back to my seats. Now, to their credit, they were very polite. But the fact that you would interrogate someone this way over such a ridiculous complaint is absurd and indicates what the problem is overall in the first place. And this is the reason that Maccabi Tel Aviv said, we don't want the tickets. We don't want our fans to go there because you can't protect us. And one more thing about Birmingham, which is the crazy Islamist hellhole, is that before the game, the Islamist protesters, again, not Aston Villa fans, had put up signs all over the city saying, genocidal baby killers, Maccabi Tel Aviv players, that they've been in Gaza murdering children, which of course there's no evidence of this. And I remind you that Maccabi Tel Aviv is comprised of Israeli Arabs and Jews, both.
Absolutely.
And beyond that, they also had signs that said, if you identify as Zionist, call this hotline. So of course I took a photo with this.
They found you.
They found us.
But it was just a really ugly, sad scene. I know a lot of the anti-Israel groups were also conversing during the actual game, saying that they were trying to identify which hotels the players are in, which hotels that fans are in, to try to identify them. So pretty much when the game was over, we got out of Dodge and didn't want to hang out in Birmingham too long. But I think it was important that there were some voices who were pushing back against that, both the counter-protesters and also myself and the others who came with me to attend this game. And it's also important that Aston Villa fans spoke out the way that they did. So I applaud them for that. But my scumbags are these hideous protesters. And I will double down on your scumbag with the police, because the fact that they knew this was going to happen for weeks, and they allowed that protest to take place. And you would have thought that Palestine was playing in a football match. But nope.
The schools
They're politicizing everything about sport. It's outrageous.
They shut some of the schools early.
To come out to protest?
Just because there were things going on in Birmingham.
Oh my God.
Yep.
They're so screwed.
No, it's really
beautiful.
It's really bad, and really, it's an omen, or it's like a window into more things to come. I think, unless there's a drastic change. But well done to you, Emily, for going there,
my life.
for risking your life. You are a true Zioness. And honestly, it's just, I mean, if you're arresting Emily and her friend for wearing a T-shirt, then where have you gotten to? It's really ridiculous.
Yes, we're violent hooligans.
Violent hooligans, yes. At least you're glamorous violent hooligans. All right, well, I'm sticking with the UK. And my scumbags this week, and we've had them on before, but this is very specific, are the BBC, but especially the two people who resigned yesterday. Tim Davie, who is the head of the BBC, and Deborah Turness, who is the head of news for the BBC. And I always love a scumbag with a happy ending, but let's just go. Let's just go through why the BBCs are such scumbags, and why this guy and this woman, the buck stops with them for having 5 years of terribly biased news coverage, especially, of course, the last 2 years during the Gaza war. They essentially became the spokespeople for Hamas, yes, a terrorist organization. First of all, they refused to call them terrorists. They were calling them armed whatever. Let's just go through some of the examples. They got the whole Al-Ai hospital wrong. They claimed that we had bombed and killed hundreds of people. It turned out to be a rocket from Hamas or Islamic Jihad, and only a few people were dead when it was their rocket, of course. Then they told, a BBC presenter said, that Israeli forces were targeting people and medical teams, when in fact the quote was translated wrong. Surprise, surprise. And they said, yes, sorry, we had to retract. There were some medical teams amongst the people, but it wasn't a target. Then they went on to say that we committed, we were doing a forced starvation, famine. They took pictures of kids that was staged and said this is famine. They took pictures of, like the New York Times, of course, of kids who had congenital illnesses and said we were starving them. And of course, they did that very famous BBC documentary where they took a little boy and his terrible life in Gaza, except that he was a son of a Hamas minister, and they didn't bother to check. And even when they found out, they didn't care much. But none of this would have moved this Tim Davie and Deborah Turness to leave. But what had to happen for them to actually admit that they are the heads of a rotten Islamist news outlet, when they took a tape of Donald Trump and they sliced and diced it to make it sound like he was calling on people to storm the Capitol. Look at this.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and I'll be there with you, and we fight. We fight like hell.
Then it turned out that they took a sentence from here and a sentence from there and a sentence from there, and they very dishonestly put it all together.
We're going to walk down. We're going to walk down anyone you want, but I think right here we're going to walk down to the Capitol, and we're going to cheer on Our brave senators and congressmen and women, one of our great achievements will be election security, because nobody until I came along had any idea how corrupt our elections were. I said, something's wrong here, something's really wrong, can't have happened, and we fight. We fight like hell, and if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore.
And so none of the anti-Jewish hatred or anti-Israel bias, that couldn't move them, because that was really their raison d'etre. What did move them was when the White House said, what is this? And that was real manipulation. But we know that that manipulation that they did with Trump was only the cherry on the cake of the manipulation that they've been doing against Israel and against Jews for the last few years, especially during the war. So like I said at the beginning, I love a scumbag with a happy ending. And the happy ending here is that Tim Davie and Deborah Turner, you're out. And let's hope that the BBC can be redeemed by bringing some serious, unbiased journalists to essentially what is the government's broadcast service, which is paid for by the British taxpayer. And if they don't, I would suggest that the British taxpayer stop paying their license fees, because this is a joke. You're being paid to be indoctrinated by a bunch of haters. So that's my scumbags of the week.
You know, it really just shows you that when they get away with doing this to Jews,
eventually,
when they get away with doing it, and nobody catches them out, and nobody protests it, and they don't get in trouble with their jobs for faulty misinformation journalism, it's like, oh, well, maybe we can keep going. Maybe we can No, you're a liar from the beginning to the end, but you were only caught when you did it with Trump. And I say to everyone at home, like, if you see someone who's being dishonest and manipulative when it comes to Jews, just be aware, pull your lens back a second, because there's a reason they're doing that, and it's not for your benefit.
But I think the part that's even more shocking about it is that the part of the reason this all came out now is because there's evidence, so there are internal memos about them knowing that stories they were reporting are false.
But
And they
anyway.
still
Because
stories.
it fits their narrative. So it wasn't about you telling the news, it was about you fitting the story that you concocted.
I haven't watched the news at home since I got back from Israel after October 7th.
Wow.
Because I turned it on.
GB News are okay.
GB News is about the only one.
Yeah.
It kills me because it looks like it's filmed on a potato and it needs to deal with that. But I came home from Israel where I was watching the news, which was, I could barely understand. It's not good quality.
No,
I could barely understand it, but I could see visually what was going on.
Yeah.
And I came back from Man on a Kibbutz with a camera, bad things, list of names, and I got back home to 4 people in the studio like this saying, well, you know, what we think they're saying may have happened, possibly is, and going on down this rabbit hole of like, sorry, I'm in the Mamad dealing with the rockets coming, and we're not talking about that. So I decided, like, no news for me. Like, GB News I-24 is all I happen to occasionally watch, but it's not worth it. And Janice, obviously.
Of course. No, but really, it's what we've been saying for a long time, that they're not telling the news. They're just not telling the news. They've got a story, they've got an agenda, and everything is just, it's like Al Jazeera. And let's not even talk about BBC Arabia. I mean, they basically take their commentators are Hamas members. Their journalists are card-carrying Hamas members, and they never disclose the affiliation of their so-called journalists when they're interviewing them. And so this comes out as supposedly decent reporting. It's really, it's just like you say, Jews are always a canary in the mine. When you turn against the Jews, eventually it's coming for you, like that famous poem that we won't go back to. But we need our sanity, and that's why we always find heroes of the week. So, Shoshana, who's your hero this week?
Oh my gosh, I have watched this video so many times.
Yes.
Like, just take it out the trash.
Yes.
Jonathan Carton, you are my hero. Thank you for that visual. And I'm sorry that you had to go through what you went through. He was an IDF reservist who was speaking in Toronto. I believe his uncle was unfortunately murdered by a terrorist, and the terrorist was let out in this most recent deal to free the hostages. So he's speaking in Toronto, and what did you call them? Run-of-the-mill pro-Palestinian scumbags came to protest him and were actually increasingly violent, broke through a glass door into, like, really breaking through to the people who were, the Jews who were behind the door. And he was just like, forget this, takes himself out, and one by one takes him out. You have got to watch this video.
Touchdown! You're not allowed to touch down! I'm told!
You're moving.
You're not allowed!
Everyone's moving.
Don't touch me!
And I just feel like every time that happens, like I know I'm not into football / soccer, I'm American, like whatever. Football. But this is the kind of thing I get behind. I will watch this over and over again and cheer for my team because this is the kind of stuff that makes me so happy to see like good people, or at least people who stand for their convictions. And they're just standing there like, don't stop. Oh no. Like, what? Who are you? You've no backbone. You have no nothing. You just stand there with your mask and you come and you scream, and then someone actually takes himself seriously and says, "I'm not going to stand up. I'm not going to stand for this. I'm going to take you out." And you just get trashed out there, my friends, trashed out. And if you guys at home are like cheering for that guy, for those guys who like just stand there with their phones and their keffiyehs wrapped around them, you're on the wrong team.
Absolutely. But also, don't they sound like screaming zombies?
Oh, they're not.
Every single protest I see, it's like they're like hysterical. Zombies. That's what it seems to me. All
Can't torture them, even if you wanted to.
They're no brains. They're vapid. They don't.
It's crazy.
I mean, Jonathan is a friend of mine, and I loved the way he just like.
I love that video. You know, it's like bookmarked.
I texted him, and he's like, they just didn't know.
But he was hurt. Like, you know, we're laughing, but he had lacerations all through his
lacerations.
It needs to be in a gift so we can just send it around.
Yeah. Oh, please don't be that. Instead, I'll okay.
Like,
Kola kavod, Jonathan. That's a great hero. Emily, who's your hero?
So my hero this week is Noga Erez, the Israeli artist, who has been targeted a lot over the past 2 years. She's spoken about how a lot of her gigs were canceled. We have a clip of her speaking.
Today, I got a call from my management saying that many of the festivals and media appearances that booked me have canceled my participation. Because I'm an Israeli. I really wish it was just one case, but the list kind of keeps growing. It's not for anything that I said. It's simply because I was born where I was born. I believe that boycotting artists will not bring any solution. I believe that banning songs and movies and plays and books, etc., is not gonna fix the world's problems. The world is full of so much suffering. The amount of pain happening right now is devastating. I've seen some of it with my own eyes. Maybe right now would be the best time for us to try and find common ground and not add to how shitty it already is.
So as you can see, unfortunately, one of the byproducts of this conflict and the politicization of everything arts and culture is that a lot of Israeli artists and athletes have been targeted in different circumstances. And despite the fact that they have nothing to do with the politics and in fact often are very critical of the Israeli government, it's never enough for the Jew haters. Now, Noga is very successful internationally. She has had a sold-out tour all over the world despite the war situation. But her closing show in Mexico City, she received dozens of death threats, of violence. They tried to get her to cancel the show. They warned her that she would be assaulted along with her team and the fans if she went forward with the show. She went forward with the show anyway, as she should, so kol hakavod to her for that. And they did try to, there was a lot of security, they did try to attack some of the fans and the team, and I think this is disgusting. But I have to say to her, in response to all of this hatred, I'm just, kol hakavod. I mean, standing up to that is not, it's not obvious, it's not an easy thing, and you shouldn't have to do it. You shouldn't have to do it, and the fact that you are just because of where you were born and your nationality is ridiculous, and I just want to play one more clip of Noga responding to the BDS haters and some of the comments. Take a look.
You won't do what you tell me. You very much. Trying to boss me around, but you're cozy and sound. Boy, you left me to drown, to swim with all of the sharks. 'Cause it's a dark world, no one to trust, no peace, no pension, no fun, and I refuse all joy and.
So Noga Erez, you're my hero of the week.
Nice. Exactly. These artists don't want to be dealing with this. They just want to sing.
Yeah.
They just want to be who they are. Absolutely. Yeah. All these artists who've shown such mettle in the last few years. Good for them. Stephen.
Wow, so many options for heroes as much as there are options for scumbags.
Yes.
It is really, really cool.
Yes.
So I'm going a very different direction, but the work that I've been doing recently is supporting Jews in their workplace Jewish groups. So a lot of the big companies have started, I started the one at Amazon, It was a nightmare.
Explain to us what this is.
So it's kind of like a JSOC or a Hillel, but at work.
At work.
So
Very
there's a lot
nice.
of like these diversity, equity, inclusion groups where we have the Black Employee Network, the Asian Employee Network, whoever. And my thing at Amazon was, I did a long training, didn't see any mention of Jews. I said, where are the Jews? And someone said to me, start a group.
Right.
It was a endless paperwork and nightmares, and you're just a religion. We don't do religions. And we could do a whole 3-hour episode on the things that I see. But as much as it's tough work, it's really important work, and it's really kind of changing the space a little bit for Jews in the workplace, especially since the war, who came back to work on October the 9th, the people writing Free Palestine on their workplace Slack channel. Like many companies saw that sort of thing, and Al Jazeera being shared on the company resources. And then you see Microsoft a few weeks ago, who had encampments on their actual campus. They broke into the president's office and they're demanding all these things. So it's a little bit crazy, but also people just want to be in their little Jewish community at work because they don't know how to talk about what's going on. It doesn't have to be physical. They just want a little channel. So my heroes are all of those people that are doing their full-time job and then deciding to, on the side, be the Jewish leader in that space. It's really tough. They're countering anti-Semitism, hate, and doing positive things. There's like 100 Hanukkah parties about to go on in big companies that you'd never think would do a Hanukkah party or do a Purim party or throw out apple and honey at Rosh Hashanah and honey cake. It was a honey cake tasting competition where people, so amazing, amazing things. So my heroes are all of those people that decided to stand up and lead. They've had their Hineni moment. They've said, here I am, I'm going to lead. Hearts
Very
to you.
nice. Very
Oh, well done. And well done to you for leading the charge and starting the whole thing.
It's sad I have to do it. I feel like there's no organization doing it. So my thing is, I quit my job in tech. I had an amazing job in tech, and I turned my back on it because it's really important that we support each other as Jews. So hopefully we're going to start moving. We're a non-profit now. We're doing all the fun things. The fundraising begins, which is just the best.
Oh, yeah,
So much
that's
fun.
part of it. Well done. It's really important work. I know what you've done. And it's taking off. And I think that's what people don't realize about anti-Semitism. The more you hate us, the more we're like, okay, we're going to be a little bit more Jewish now. The Jew we get. Okay, my hero this week is Ben Shapiro, because in a viper's den that has become the woke right in the Republican Party, in the MAGA movement, whatever you want to see it, with scumbags that we've had in before, like Tucker Carlson, who is really determined to bring back old school medieval Christian anti-Semitism, and platforms, famous haters like Nick Fuentes, who is a racist, a homophobe, a misogynist, says women want to get raped. This is the guy saying black people should have, basically chanting for apartheid, the real one, not the one they invent, that doesn't exist over here. The scum of the earth, and the Tucker Carlson platforms this guy. People are beginning to normalize this guy and his terrible, terrible bigoted beliefs. And nobody's saying anything. And the head of the Heritage Foundation, which is one of the most important, if not the most important, right-wing conservative think tank in America, is saying, oh, why are you picking on Tucker? We don't believe in cancel culture. No, you had a responsibility. Your own people are doing a mutiny against you. But I'm not here to talk about scumbags. I'm here to talk about the one hero that has actually come out in the only, what's that expression in Hebrew that ends dom, where is the, where is the tzaddik? Exactly. So that's Ben Shapiro, who is unapologetically, even if he's lost followers, he doesn't care and he's not losing any sleep. But he went on the Megyn Kelly live shows that she did. He went on his own channel and basically took all of the most hideous opinions of Nick Fuentes and put them out on display for people to see who this little worm is and how the platforming is basically normalizing not just hatred towards the Jews, hatred towards everyone, and how everybody seems to be going along. Even the New York Times did an almost flattering piece on Nick Fuentes, where they actually put, look at this, a picture where the little worm looks semi-attractive, which he isn't. That's the New York Times platforming racist. As long as they hate Jews, that's okay by them.
Not deserving.
He's Nazi, a Hitler fan, a Stalin fan. And Ben Shapiro did this extremely viral clip. I think it's gotten more viral than the Nick Fuentes interview with Tucker Carlson, saying this is who this is, and anybody who's normalizing him or whitewashing him or softballing questions to him is complicit to this hatred. And it's, again, like you said, Shoshana, it's not just about the Jews. It only starts with the Jews. These people are bad news. And the fact that Ben Shapiro has to be the only guy who calls it out, I think is shameful that he's the only guy, but I want to give him the zchut and the credit for being the hero who's calling it out, because every generation needs one. And Ben Shapiro, that's you right now. So Ben Shapiro is my hero of the week.
So I actually have taken issue with Ben on various things, whether it's abortion, whether it's whatever.
On everything.
So, but what I want to say is this: as you're speaking, I'm thinking like, what if Ben wasn't in that position? Like, what if Ben had not been who he is with the positions and opinions that he has? And what if he had not gotten himself that type of platform and he wasn't there to do that work of saying, you're cheering a Nazi?
Yeah.
Because if someone from the Democratic Party or someone who is left-leaning or whatever, even centrist, who were to do that, they wouldn't go viral like that. And so I feel like, they talk about Queen Esther, like who knows if this is the reason you got to the throne, you became the queen. And I do wonder if this is maybe Ben Shapiro's Queen Esther moment. Like maybe this, to fight this insanity in his own party, is why he built the platform that he has built over the years and gotten the respect that he's gotten and built up the following that he has. And I do wonder, this is what Jews believe in, right? Like, this is my job. Like you said, I had a great job in tech, but my people need me. And so.
But Ben Shapiro, it's not just that he's an Orthodox Jew, he's a big American patriot.
Absolutely.
So when he does this because he knows this is bad for America.
For sure.
And I really admire him. Again, like you, I don't agree with everything he says.
Yeah.
But he's the only guy coming out and talking about this.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few others. I know Dinesh D'Souza.
Yeah, Dinesh, and also the Officer Tatum has come out.
Yeah.
There are the conservative, but in terms of like going all out there to dissect who this worm is, Nick Fuentes?
Because Ben he's intellectually, he has intellectual integrity, which is something that we're seeing be compromised, of course, on the left in the past few years.
Oh,
with
they're
the
gone.
Democratic Socialists of America and how they've sort of subverted that movement, and now they're doing it on the right, and a lot of it is Qatar. And other nefarious actors within the right. But instead of actually sticking to their own conservative principles, they are excusing people because they're friends with them. And by the way, also Megyn Kelly, wow, the way that Ben destroyed her in that interview, unbelievable. And he's ripping her arguments apart, and she's saying, "Oh, well, I didn't watch." Really? But your job is literally to have an opinion. You're a pundit. You should have an opinion. What is this? Oh, well, I'm not going to have opinions about people who say things on the right.
I know, and she's not my friend. But when he talks about Candace Owens, but when she interviewed Tucker Carlson, and she was asking him only a few difficult questions, he was so rude to her.
Yeah, he was.
He was so rude. He's actually, as we say in Spanish, an antipático. Antipati, you know what I mean? It's like, he's just not nice.
Yeah.
The turning point had him to doing one of these events, and somebody asked him a question, and he was still not nice to them. He doesn't have the charm and the kindness of Charlie Kirk. Like, why? I hope that his star is going to start to fall, because it has to.
Yeah.
I mean, and however much Qatar
props him up. Propped up, yeah.
For sure, he's been propped up by Qatar. And really, that's another. We talked about Iran a lot, but Qatar is also the one to 100% try and bring down.
Yep.
So with that happy note, and with our heroes, we brace ourselves for what the next week will bring. Hopefully good news, and hopefully the rest of our fallen heroes coming home for a dignified burial. And with that, we also pray for peace and quiet. Thank you for watching.
And moving on, last week, just before the hostage exchange took effect, United Hatzalah was holding a massive event of music, comedy, and fun. United Hatzalah's medics, employees, and volunteers joined Ambassador Mike Huckabee, former Ambassador David Friedman, and more for an unforgettable night. Let's take a look.
The stage at United Hatzalah's United for Life event was filled with music and unity as the crowd came together for a truly special night. Hosted by comedian Ilan Gold and headlined by prominent singer Avraham Fried, the crowd were on their feet all night long. The crowd consisted of volunteers, staff, donors, and anyone from the United Hatzalah family looking for a bit of music and fun. But this night was special for another reason.
Tonight is a very exciting night. Tonight is a night before the hostages are coming back, and we have 3,000 people here in Jerusalem, together with the ambassadors, Mike Huckabee and David Friedman. And we're going to do a special performance of them on stage. They're going to be performing together with Avraham Fried, the most famous Jewish religious Orthodox singer in the world, and with Ilan Gold. It's going to be incredible. A song about Jerusalem. This is a beautiful evening for Am Yisrael, the United Hatzalah. I'm really excited to be here tonight.
The event was also attended by key figures playing a crucial role in Israel's diplomatic landscape. U.S. Ambassador to Israel Mike Huckabee joined the Hatzalah family for a night of music and happiness. He even got on stage to play Sweet Home Jerusalem, a rendition of Sweet Home Alabama. On stage, Huckabee was joined by former Ambassador David Friedman. Before going up on stage, Friedman told ILTV this.
Look, we owe everything to the IDF, their heroism, their bravery, the reservists who gave up, their businesses, their family life, just to defend us. Of course, the entire army. Of course, the Prime Minister of Israel, and of course, President Trump, who engaged in this issue like no one before him. I don't think anyone else could have closed this deal.
This was a night of hope. As Israelis anticipated the return of the hostages, United Hatzalah was holding an event reminding all those who attended just how powerful unity can be. United to save lives, united in everything.
ILTV News, your source for Israel in English. Reporting from the ground where it happens, as it happens. An authentic, trusted voice in daily Israel news. Airing on 11 international TV channels and now launching a 24/7 Israeli news channel. Reaching millions every month across all social platforms. Independent, real, powered by truth. We don't just report, we connect, thanks to a worldwide community that stands for truth. This is ILTV, your source for Israel in English.
Welcome back to ILTV on the Hour. We're live from Israel, bringing you the biggest headlines of the region. I'm Caleb Ben David, and here's your roundup of the latest developments coming out of Israel. Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman says Riyadh wants to join the Abraham Accords and normalize relations with Israel, but only if that process includes a clear path towards a Palestinian state. Speaking alongside U.S. President Donald Trump in the Oval Office, Ben Salman says the two leaders had a healthy discussion and are working to create the right situation for a pathway to a two-state solution. Trump says they discussed one-state and two-state options, adding that bin Salman has a very good feeling toward the Abraham Accords. Bin Salman emphasized that Saudi Arabia wants peace for Israelis and Palestinians and a future where they both coexist peacefully.
So definitely we believe having a good relation with all Middle Eastern countries is a good thing. And we want to be part of the Abraham Accord, but we want also to be sure that we secure a clear path of two-state solution. And today we have a healthy discussion with Mr. President that we're going to work on that to be sure that we can prepare the right situation as soon as possible to have that.
I think we're, I don't want to use the word commitment, but We've had a very good talk on the Abraham Accords. We talked about one state, two state. You know, we talked about a lot of things in a short period of time. We'll be discussing it further too. But I think you have a very good feeling toward the Abraham Accords.
Yes, definitely, Mr. President. We want peace for the Israelis, we want peace for the Palestinians, we want them to coexist peacefully in the region, and we will do our best to reach that day.
President Trump also announced a new defense pact that will include the controversial sale of F-35 fighter jets to the Saudis, as well as a program to help it develop a civil nuclear program for the kingdom, which he designated as a major non-NATO ally of the U.S. Trump also asked bin Salman to join the new Board of Peace set to oversee the reconstruction and governance of Gaza, saying it would include the leaders of many major countries. A deadly attack in Judea yesterday, a combined ramming and stabbing at the Gush Etzion junction south of Jerusalem, has left one man dead and 3 others wounded. 71-year-old Kiryat Arba resident Aharon Cohen was killed, and 3 others, a woman in her 40s, a 30-year-old man, and a 15-year-old boy, suffered moderate to serious injuries when 2 Palestinian terrorists rammed their vehicle into a crowd of civilians and then attempted to stab them before they were neutralized by security forces on the scene. Cohen was laid to rest last night in Kiryat Arba. A widower, he leaves behind 6 children and many grandchildren. According to the IDF and eyewitnesses, the terrorists, identified as 18-year-old Ibrahim Imran El-Atrash of Hebron and 18-year-old Walid Mohammed Khalil Sabane of Beit Ummah, arrived by car, accelerated into people standing near the junction, and then exited the vehicle with knives. Nearby IDF reservists reacted instantly, shooting and killing both attackers. Inside the terrorist car, security forces later discovered explosive materials, which were neutralized by border police bomb disposal units. Palestinian Islamic Jihad praised the attack, calling on Palestinians to escalate violence. Hamas called it a natural response, though neither group formally claimed responsibility. Prime Minister Netanyahu condemned the terror attack, saying in a statement that today we experienced another Palestinian terrorist attack, and we are determined to complete the war on all fronts, including disarming Hamas and demilitarizing the Gaza Strip. Meanwhile, Lebanese officials say 13 people were killed and 4 injured after an Israeli drone strike hit a Hamas training camp inside the Ain al-Hilweh refugee camp near Sidon. It's the deadliest Israeli strike in Lebanon since the ceasefire began nearly a year ago. Lebanese media reported a vehicle at the entrance of the camp was hit by 3 missiles, with damage both inside and outside the vehicle. And that ends this update on ILTV, but you could stay with us throughout the day for the latest updates coming out of Israel and the Middle East. And of course, you can also catch us on our ILTV app. There's the QR code on the screen. I'm Khaled Ben David, and thank you for watching.
Hey guys, we're going to go over all the 4 scenarios we had and conclude them. We had first scenario, first video that was caught on tape was of 2 people getting into an argument. One of the guys simply threw a sucker punch to the chin of the guy in front of him. We see a direct knockout, then he moves towards his head with a kick. We talked first of all in the first part about distance. We showed you how distance is crucial in self-defense and how it gives you time for reaction. And then talked about covering up your face with inside or outside defense if possible. Then we continued with this exact scenario, with this exact video, and spoke about what happened when you get to the ground, how to stand up quick if possible. If not, how to use ground techniques when the attacker is close to you. And last was about if he already got to your head and you don't have another option because you see the the soccer kick getting to your face, how to use your hand in order to defend. Our third scenario was about a professional fighter who got into a road range scenario. We were able to see how he's managing both attackers. So we were talking about the baton that the guy got out of his trunk, and we showed you how to defend against a baseball bat, against a stick correctly. Even though our professional fighter managed to move back and then punch him, we showed you a precise defense against a stick. We continued with the same exact scenario and showed you what to do with the second attacker who got our professional fighter on his car, pushed him with a bear hug. We showed you a technique how to get rid of the guy that puts you against a car or a wall with a bear hug. We showed you a precise technique how to reach his nose, hair if he got, and then neutralize the guy and take control of the situation. Thank you.
Thank you guys for joining our Krav Maga class. You guys can stay tuned and check out our Facebook and YouTube page and learn more Krav Maga tips and lessons. Thank you.
Hey guys, analyzing real life attacks caught on tape. We're continuing with our women's self-defense. We're going to be calling Shana with our next scenario of today. So let's see what we got here. So as you guys can see, we have an attack happening in a college here that starts in the stairs. The guy is pulling the woman by the stairs, by her bag. Then she's on the ground. She's fighting all she got. She's trying to really get her bag back. Let's watch it again. Taking her by the stairs. And here they're fighting. She's doing a good job. He's not able actually to take her bag. Just her cell phone, she runs away. And we're gonna see what else we can learn out of this scenario. So as we were able to see in our scenario, we have a guy trying to steal a woman's purse. Okay, she does not let him and she fights back. Okay, he's grabbing her by the bag and dragging her by the stairs. Then she falls to the ground. And here, there is the fight when he's trying to take the purse and she's not letting him. She's trying to do something with her legs, okay? She's actually also using the knees, doing whatever she can not to give him her purse. She's doing a pretty good job. We can see it in the video, and the attacker is actually not able to get the purse out of her, just her cell phone. Then our attacker runs away. Because there is one technique that we can perform here that can change and turn the situation from a disadvantage into an advantage. And this is exactly what self-defense is. Okay, so you're here, getting dragged by the bag, falling to the ground, and here we're fighting. Now, just pushing me here with those legs, okay, will not always be enough. Okay, to the body, it's fine, but we have to understand all those big muscles are not a weak spot, okay? We do have techniques that when you have distance, you would go towards the knee. The knee is definitely a weak spot, but when a person is close to you trying to get your bag, going towards the knee would be hard, and going towards the body is simply not enough, okay? Okay guys, so let's see what we can do. So if I'm grabbing your bag here, your purse, what I want you to do is, first of all, put one knee to separate between you to the attacker. So I'm here, the knee is here. Why would you put this knee? Okay, if I'm coming to the ground, really trying to grab the bag, this knee is separating you and is not letting the attacker to really get close to you. Even if I don't want to punch you, there you go, this knee will make the job to get distance. And it's not about how strong you are, because this is a bone. And this is not enough, okay? But what's interesting, what's even more interesting, that you can see that the lady was pretty naturally putting this knee. So we can see that it's a pretty natural move. Now, the attacker was not going all the way to the ground, he was here. That's fine. The lady was trying to use her leg and trying to go to the body, okay? Here or here, and this is not enough. This is not enough. But with a small change, okay? If you would bring the leg from here towards my face, that would be something completely else. But you're not able to do that if you don't have the right technique. What you gotta do is lift your hips up, lift your hips, exactly, and actually showing me the bottom of your foot. The only thing that was missing there is, instead of trying to go to the body, okay, use this technique of lifting your hips. Pay attention how Shana is lifting her hips. And now she's able to bring the leg towards my face. Now she's extending her foot, boom, all the way towards my face. You can imagine what would happen. Such a direct kick to the face. You will get the distance and then be able to run away. Good job. Thank you guys for joining our Krav Maga class. You guys can stay tuned and check out our Facebook and YouTube page and learn more Krav Maga tips and lessons. Thank you. Welcome to the show, analyzing real-life scenarios caught on tape. We're going to dive into our scenario. Leo, let's see what kind of scenario we have today. Okay, so as you guys are able to see, we have a scenario that is happening here in South Africa, when we have the attackers here hiding on the ground. Turns to be that there are 3 attackers and 2 people here are being attacked. Here you can see the attackers are revealing themselves, one with a machete, another one with a knife, and the third one will be coming here. One of the guys able to escape from the guy with the machete, and then we have 2 more people with a knife here. So here's the guy with the machete getting into their house and is robbing their home. That's what we got here. So as you guys were able to see in our scenario, we have 3 attackers that are hiding and are attacking 2 other guys. One has a machete and 2 other attackers have a knife. Now, we're gonna be speaking about a defense against a knife, because we're seeing the guy being stabbed there from up with this leveraging hand, the hand that is separating, so the hand that creates the space and make sure the stab goes right into those weak spots. So we have to learn, first of all, how to take care of this leveraging hand. Second of all, how to take care of the danger of the knife, of course. So let's start. First of all, quick, Leo. So you're stabbing me up. Excellent. So let's break it down and see what do we have to do in order to neutralize this hand with the knife. Of course, if we're starting from the beginning, if I'm seeing an attacker with a knife, to defend with my legs will be the best thing, or with a common object, because I'm keeping the attacker away from me. That's the advantage here. There's a disadvantage here as well, because while I'm keeping the attacker far away from me, that's right, I might be able to run away or to grab a chair or to ask for help, but on the other hand, I'm not neutralizing the attacker. After this push kick, right, he's still gonna be with the knife, and I'm not gonna be able to push kick him forever, okay? So if I'm using my legs, of course, that's a push kick, and run away in order to grab an object, ask for help, etc. Okay? But if I'm getting caught in this kind of scenario, when I'm already here, okay, and the stab is coming at me, so I have to take first care of the leveraging hand that is separating between me and the danger itself. With simply defending, right, and attacking, as we said, it's not going to be enough, because the attacker can also go down. Okay, so please pay attention. So the moment you're caught with this scenario, with this leveraging hand, what you want to do is first, as we said, take care of this hand separating, and second, dive into this hand with the knife. Even though it's not that natural to dive into a blade, that's the only way to really get control and neutralize the hand of the knife. After I'm doing it, after I'm doing it, I'm here. Now, that's right that I can get a little scratch here, but I don't really care because it's not a real stab, and I'm really controlling the knife here. Leo, you're gonna be pulling the knife now here. I don't care, I'm letting you pull me. I'm becoming a part of your hand, becoming the part of the hand that's holding the knife and giving you knees. If you come from here, you'll be able to see it. Leo, you can pull, boom, and I'm giving knees, boom, and then taking control of the situation till the knife is on the ground, of course. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you, Leo. Thank you guys for joining our Krav Maga class. You guys can stay tuned and check out our Facebook and YouTube page and learn more Krav Maga tips and lessons. Thank you. Hello everyone, this is Oren Malul with Analyzing Real Life Scenarios Caught on Tape. We're gonna dive into our first scenario, handling a sucker punch. Leo? Thank you. So let's see what we got here. So as you can see, we have two guys speaking here. You see suddenly one of the guys simply throw a punch to the chin of the other guy, then get closer to him, kick him to the head. He's in a complete knockout here. Now he robs him, as you can see. But look how cruel is this guy. Keeps punching him, keeps kicking him to the head, smash his head. Hard images to watch. And there you go, you can see that he robs him one more time. And then he simply walks away. Let's see, what can we do in this kind of scenario? So as you guys were able to see, we have a classic scenario of a sucker punch. Leo, you're gonna be playing the role of the attacker. So as we said, two guys are simply having a discussion. Suddenly one of the guys simply punch to the chin, the other guy, he gets knocked out. Then the attacker goes, kick him to the head, robbing him, and simply walks away. In self-defense, when we talk about distance, it's really important. We're gonna do a little experiment to emphasize and show you guys how important it is. Leo, what I'm going to do is simply going to touch your chest. Pay attention that I'm able to simply reach you with my hand. I don't need to take any step forward. I have the reach. All you gotta do, Leo, is simply redirect with this hand with a simple redirection motion. Okay, so you're gonna deflect my hand this way, right? Now, pay attention. I gotta do all of this motion, okay? From my pockets or from here to his chest. All Leo gotta do is bring your hand up, is a small redirection motion. Now, we're gonna test it out and see if you're able to defend yourself. Okay, this is one for me. I'm gonna do a little faster. So this is 2 for me, 3 for me. Now, pay attention. Leo has some self-defense experience. That means he's someone trained. And that's what we call in Krav Maga an inside defend, a deflection. Now, this is a perfect defend, but as you can see, Leo was not able to protect himself from this kind of distance. So, is this defense wrong? Is there something wrong about it? No. What's wrong is the distance. Now, Leo, what you're gonna be doing is you're gonna take a small step backward. That's it, simply getting out of the reach. Now let's do the same test. Okay, a little faster. There you go. That's already 2 for him. That's already 3 for him. Now pay attention. Out of 3, he was able to defend 3. Before that, out of 3, I was able to touch him 3 times. Is it because this amount of distance? Not exactly. It's because he got out of my reach. Okay, when I'm here, the hands are very quick. Okay, so when someone is speaking to you in this kind of reach, when he can simply reach you with his hand without even stepping forward, we can learn out something out of it. First, it's gonna be very, very hard for you to defend. It's especially if he knows what he's doing, he's gonna go with a direct punch. So simply take a step backward, okay? Now here, I'm not able to use my hands as a first weapon. I gotta do first of all a step, then able to reach him with a punch, or in our experiment was a touch. So the body is 3 times slower than the hand. So first of all, guys, distance, this is crucial. Second, if you're in a range of distance and you're seeing this punch, so it could be an outside defend. Leo, you're gonna perform an outside defend, right? Or if your hands are open and I'm attacking you to your chin, it could be an inside defense. Okay, Leo, you're gonna be punching me one more time. If the defense comes from the outside, boom, that's an outside defend. And as we know, counter attack after that. But if the attack is inside my hands, whoop, that could be an inside defense. Okay, so remember the rule. If the attack is outside of my hands, I'm gonna go with an outside defense. If the attack is inside of my hand, whoop, I'm gonna go in inside defense with a movement that goes from the outside in, boom. And then perform, of course, with some counter attacks. Okay guys, so as you were able to see, we talked first of all about the distance, how distance is important when we speak about self-defense. It gives you time for reaction. Okay, next, we're gonna be speaking about how the guy fell on the ground and what should you do when you're on the ground after this first punch that surprised you.
Thank you guys for joining our Krav Maga class. You guys can stay tuned and check out our Facebook and YouTube page and learn more Krav Maga tips and lessons. Thank you. Another way we're going to show you how to neutralize someone that holds a weapon, if it's a knife or a gun, it's coming from the back. We spoke about it in the past, but this is a very simple way. If you got here, that's going to be here. If not, hands to the face, and I'm going with a whoop. Now, usually the knife or the gun is going to fall because you want to use your hands in order to protect your head. And if I'm doing it correctly, I'm putting leverage on his vertebrae here. And if I do it in one motion explosive, I'm gonna create damage, and his head very likely is going to hit the ground. Boom. Of course, stay away from the knife or the weapon, okay? We're gonna show you the last way. The third way we're gonna show you how to neutralize someone from the back is simply by a takedown. Whoop. Okay, from here, going to the head, always not staying close to his legs. If the knife or the weapon fell, boom, get it far away from the attacker, so of course he cannot reach it. One more time. Now, in our scenario, he had a counter, and that actually doesn't really matter. We don't really mind if the attacker hits his face on the counter. Now, pay attention. It's a very simple takedown. When I'm doing it quick and grabbing his leg, pulling from the hands, pushing from the shoulder and the head, looks like this. Whoop. Okay. He is going to leave whatever he has in his hands, right? We're gonna do the same now with a gun. If you're from the back, what's gonna happen that our attacker is simply gonna have to leave the gun because he's putting his hands instinctively. It's not something he thinks about it. Of course, you're moving towards the face, boom. And if he has a gun, pay attention where the weapon is and taking control of the situation. One more time, a little bit of explanation. So to conclude, guys, we showed you how to neutralize an attacker from the back. First of all, he was with a knife. And then we spoke about even if he has a gun in his hands, one of the techniques can definitely work. Now pay attention, if he does have a gun, right, some way of neutralizing from the back will be more safe than the others, because gun, it's not like knife, you can always turn the gun towards you. But our last technique that we showed from the back, right? As we said, he's gonna put the gun on the ground when I'm taking him down, and the gun is going to go away, okay? Thank you guys for joining our Krav Maga class. You guys can stay tuned and check out our Facebook and YouTube page and learn more Krav Maga tips and lessons. Thank you. Hey guys, so we're continuing with the same scenario when the professional fighter got attacked in a road rage scenario. Once, the first scenario we had was with the baton, the baseball bat. Now we're moving on to the second guy. Now, as you can see in the video, he managed also to control the second guy and to put him into a headlock. He was pushed by the second guy on the car with a bear hug. Boom, was pushed. And from here, they kind of struggled, pushed each other. Our professional fighter in the video is pretty strong, so he managed to take him off, and then later on, even able to get him into a headlock and make him lose consciousness. Now, we're gonna speak about this scenario. You're being pushed towards a wall. You're being pushed towards a car with a bear hug, right? Here, instead of trying to use simply your strength and see who's stronger here, right? Because if you're attacking stronger and you're simply gonna try to push him, that's not gonna work. Okay, pay attention to what I do here. Leo, you can put all your pressure up. There you go. Boom, boom, boom. Ooh. Okay, let's see what happened here. It's kind of a bear hug against the wall. Now, pay attention that his head is close to my body. Okay, if his head is still here, okay, and he's, for example, bear hugging me and I'm able to grab him with both of my thumbs, that's great. In our scenario, it's not what happened. The head of the attacker was already tied in, so you're not able to grab his eyes. But what you are able to do, first of all, if he got hair, one of those hands can go to hair and then pull. Okay, Leo doesn't have hair, so I'm gonna go with the second hand here and simply slide on the hand. Pay attention, I'm sliding till I'm reaching his nose. Okay, now from here, pushing the other hand as well, grabbing the head. As we said, if he has hair, great. Pushing. Okay, I'm putting pressure here on his neck, pushing forward, attacks, boom, attacks, and then taking control of the situation. One more time. You're being pushed away from here. Your attacks are not so effective. Your attacks are not effective in this kind of scenario. The only attack that would be able maybe to work is an elbow, but it's not always available for you. So what I want you guys to do is to go with your hand. Pay attention, I'm sliding on his body and I'm fighting in his nose. From the nose, he's not able to resist. We're gonna show you example here. Leo, simply cross my hand here. As you can see, I'm not able to cross his hand, but if I'm gonna use one finger on his nose here, right? Of course, he's not able to move forward. So if you're putting leverage, you're putting pressure on the nose, right? The attacker is not able to resist. You got the distance, you're able to use counterattacks and simply get out of there. Leo, thank you. Thank you guys for joining our Krav Maga class. You guys can stay tuned and check out our Facebook and YouTube page and learn more Krav Maga tips and lessons. Thank you. Hello everyone, Ormilu here, analyzing real life scenarios caught on tape. Today we're going to show you a video that shows and emphasizes how someone trained sometimes react without thinking twice. Leo, please bring us the next scenario and let's see what we got here. So, as you can see, we have here a guy in a gas station waiting here for the cashier to hand him the bill or something. Then suddenly
another guy coming from the side, moving the guy waiting for the cashier and threatening the cashier himself with a knife. So from the back, as you can see here, we have our man who is going to react, who is a firefighter, who is deciding to react. And pay attention how he's controlling him, neutralizing to the ground. So happened to be that we have a good guy here who decided to react in really a couple of seconds, made his calculation and decided to do something. He is neutralizing the attacker till a police officer is able to come and take control of the situation. Now we have our firefighter who understands that there is something going on. He understands that the guy is being robbed with a knife, and he makes a decision in a couple of seconds that he is going to neutralize the guy. So he comes from the back, whoop, and from here, simply puts him on the ground, then neutralize him in a certain way. Now, what we're going to show you here is a couple of ways how to neutralize an attacker from the back. We spoke about it in the past. We're going to show you a couple of techniques that you can use. First of all, yes, our guy did a great job. He was really brave to put himself into the situation and definitely did a great job. Was able even to neutralize the guy till a police officer came and took control of the situation. Now, what he did is simply with a bear hug. Now, what you can see in the video, when he is bear hugging him, he is also neutralizing one of the hand of the knife. Now, what we would recommend is with the bear hug to go as close as possible to the elbows. Our fireman went with one hand towards the shoulder, but fortunately enough, did not get cut, because while he surprised the attacker and drove him from the air, boom, the knife fell to the ground. You can see it in the footage. So if you're going with the bear hug, you're gonna go and lock his hand. From here, he's not able so much to stab you, Leo. You can try to stab me. And from here, of course, I'm not gonna let him that much time. I'm gonna lift him up and put him on the ground, and then, of course, neutralize him. Thank you guys for joining our Krav Maga class. You guys can stay tuned and check out our Facebook and YouTube page and learn more Krav Maga tips and lessons. Thank you. Hey guys, we're going to go over all the 4 scenarios we had and conclude them. As you can see, we have a woman here and a man simply having a discussion first of all. But you can see that this guy is threatening her, telling her to sit down. And soon you're going to be able to see that this guy has a gun. Now, look like this woman is kind of his hostage. When she's tied up here, her hands looks like they're tied up, and the attacker here is threatening her with a gun. So a couple of shots here that we can see when she is tied up and he is threatening her with a gun. Now let's see what we can do. Not easy scenario to handle. You're here, no please, maybe take my wallet, no leave me alone. Oh, boom, boom. You're trying even to pull the gun, Leo. Oh, and I'm here with the leverage, already taking the gun. And I'm in control of the scenario. So this video actually is a known video that got viral in the US when a guy here holding a baseball bat, he's threatening an immigrant and his family, and he's blaming him for being a terrorist. He's aggressing him, insulting him, and you can see that any moment he's almost using his baseball bat against this immigrant. So as we said, this video got all around the US. Now there is a moment, as you can see, that it stopped being just verbal. He actually swung the baton, the baseball bat,
and becomes a fight. From what we heard, the immigrant had to go to the hospital to get treatment, but was able at least to protect his family. Let's see what we can learn out of it. If you feel that you're under threat, it's not always great to wait for his punch, for his stick or knife attack. If you're understanding that you're under threat, like in our scenario when the guy is simply moving towards you with the stick on his shoulder with the baseball bat, okay? Sometimes the best defense is to initiate the first move and continue, whoop, from there. So if it's a stick attack, knife attack, or even someone getting closer to you and you're understanding you might get into trouble, sometimes you guys should initiate the first move. So, as you can see, we have here a guy in a gas station waiting here for the cashier to hand him the bill or something. Then suddenly, another guy coming from the side, moving the guy waiting for the cashier and threatening the cashier himself with a knife. So from the back, as you can see here, we have our man who is going to react, who is a firefighter, who is deciding to react. And pay attention how he is controlling him, neutralizing to the ground. So happened to be that we have a good guy here who decided to react in really a couple of seconds, made his calculation, and decided to do something. He is neutralizing the attacker till a police officer is able to come and take control of the situation. So if you're going with the bear hug, you're gonna go and lock his hand. From here, he's not able so much to stab you. Leo, you can try to stab me. And from here, of course, I'm not gonna let him that much time. I'm gonna lift him up and put him on the ground. And then, of course, neutralize him. Another way we're gonna show you how to neutralize someone that holds a weapon, if it's a knife or a gun, it's coming from the back. We spoke about it in the past, but this is a very simple way. If you got here, that's gonna be here. If not, hands to the face, and I'm going with a whoop. Now, usually the knife or the gun is going to fall because you want to use your hands in order to protect your head. And if I'm doing it correctly, I'm putting leverage on his vertebrae here. And if I do it in one motion explosive, I'm gonna create damage, and his head very likely is going to hit the ground. Boom. Of course, stay away from the knife or the weapon, okay? We're gonna show you the last way. If you're from the back, what's gonna happen that our attacker is simply gonna have to leave the gun because he's putting his hands instinctively. It's not something he thinks about it. Of course, you're moving towards the face, boom. And if he has a gun, pay attention where the weapon is and taking control of the situation. Thank you guys for joining our Krav Maga class. You guys can stay tuned and check out our Facebook and YouTube page and learn more Krav Maga tips and lessons. Thank you. Hey guys, this is Oren Malul, analyzing real life scenarios caught on tape. We're going to dive into our scenario. Let's see what we got today. Thanks, Leo. So let's see what we got here. As you can see, we have a woman here and a man simply having a discussion, first of all. So you can see that this guy is threatening her, telling her to sit down. And soon you're going to be able to see that this guy has a gun. Now, look like this woman is kind of his hostage. When she's tied up here, her hands look like they're tied up, and the attacker here is threatening her with a gun. So, a couple of shots here that we can see when she is tied up, and he is threatening her with a gun. Now, let's see what we can do. Not easy scenario to handle. So first of all, if we're going to speak about the gun,
Of course, the last option is to react. You don't want to resist the attacker. If it's a robber or anything like that, give your money. This is usual advice. Your last option is definitely to react, just if you're in immediate life danger. We've seen in Israel scenarios like soldiers that are being kidnapped. So that might be one of the scenarios to do something, because usually the other location or what's happening after is not that great. In our scenario, the attacker is in a range of reach. That means the gun is usually pointed to the attacker this way, that way, or when she's sitting, even he speaks to her with the gun, okay? So let's see what we could do here. Lee, you're pointing the gun, right? You can even load it. The moment you are seeing me resisting, you're going to shoot, okay? Oh, whoop. So as you were able to see, I used the element of surprise while I was speaking to Leo. So same here. If I am here in this scenario and the attacker is with the gun, if you're going to react, and if you're making the decision, this is your last chance and you got to do something, do it while you're speaking. No, please don't hurt me. Boom. Now pay attention that the hands that are tied up, of course that's not comfortable.